Ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. Here's what's coming up on the Owen Report today. Well, a lot of news out of the White House today. President Trump just finished an event celebrating Black History Month. That's exactly what we all needed right now, was a celebration, a reminder of Black History Month. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. That'll get things back on the right track. No, actually, the White House apparently is scrambling around and had a meeting with, quote, 100 power movers and shakers to figure out how to deal with the midterms coming up. Or at least, this is what the digital influence campaign is telling you, or those that are still willing to engage in it. We'll give you a bit of an update on that. But why? Why would the Trump administration, why would the Republicans even be concerned about the midterms right now? Why would it even be an issue? They're in power. They had a clear mandate. They had a clear agenda. It was clearly populist. So what happened? Well, a little reminder of what happened today. We have a statement from President Trump indicating a war with Iran, just what the country needed. I mean, this is how you win the midterms, guys. This is how you win the midterms. You threaten war with Iran. You celebrate Black History Month. You cover up the Epstein files. That's how to win the midterms, baby. And they're going to sit here and act like it's some sort of a mystery why the midterms hang in the balance, why the Democrats are favored to win the House. Eventually it'll flip. The Democrats will be favored to win the Senate, too. So we'll read Trump's statement. We'll talk about the military buildup. We'll talk about the interests. And that's really what it is at the end of the day. You can't call yourself MAGA. You can't say it's an America First agenda when it's a foreign country and foreign interests and special interests and the donor class that are running the administration and getting everything they want. And we've crossed a threshold where it's not just about the American people being sick of war or sick of foreign entanglements or sick of in the Middle East. That was one level of it that resulted in a Barack Obama victory and, quite frankly, a Donald Trump victory. But we're at a new level of it now. Now we know in particular which countries' interests that our military and that our foreign policy represents, and it's not ours. So it's even worse now. It's even worse now. And then you look at the Epstein ties. It's brutal. It's really brutal. So we're going to look at all of that today. We do have some raw Epstein files. We got some raw Epstein files. It's pretty nasty. We're going to get into that. We got a lot of clips today. Heavy on the clips today, including, but not limited to, more and more people are starting to doubt the Savannah Guthrie story. And, you know, I hate to say we were first to the pitch on that, but now other people in the media are looking up and saying, you know what? Something just ain't right. Something here just doesn't add up. The instinct's right here. The compass always points north, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why this is your political compass. The Owen Report, the fastest 3 hours on the internet. Loaded show today. A lot of clips, a lot of news out of the White House. Unfortunately, a lot of Epstein files. Let's do it.
This news update was brought to you by OwenSchroyer.store, the official site for Owen Report merchandise.
All right, guys, what are you doing to filter your water? It's a simple question. What are you doing? And if the answer is nothing, well, then you're way behind. But I've got good news for you, because now you have the best answer, and that is the Cove Pure water filtration system. By the way, everybody that purchases this is telling me how great it is. Every single person is absolutely thrilled. And why wouldn't they be? Bring your water filtration to the future with the Cove Pure water filtration system. Let me tell you why I say that. Let me tell you why this thing is straight out of the future. This isn't just your normal water filtration system that just gives you better quality water than whatever it is you're going to get out of the tap. No. This is much better. Let's talk about the actual filtration process. Now, mind you, if you want to learn more about this, you can go to covepure.com/Owen, where we have a special offer for you. But no, let's talk about the filtration. It's got the best filtration process, otherwise known as reverse osmosis. But the downside of reverse osmosis is that you lose some of the good stuff because it just totally purifies it. The Cove Pure realkalizes the water. Incredible. Not going to beat that. So the filtration process, number one. Realkalizes it, number one. But let's talk about why this thing is from the future, not just the filtration. The Cove Pure water filtration system, you can decide how much water you want. 6 ounces, 8 ounces, 16 ounces, just one button away. Do you want room temperature? Do you want cold? Do you want ice cold? Do you want warm? Do you want hot? Customizes it. One button away. You can go from ice cold water to piping hot water with one button on the Cove Pure water filtration system. Don't believe me? Check it out for yourself. Go to the website. You'll see. It has a pitcher that's connected to it. It refills itself. The pitcher refills itself. Take the pitcher off, pour yourself a glass of water for your guest, whatever, put it back on, it refills itself. That's right. The Cove Pure water filtration system. Bring your water filtration to the future with me and Cove Pure at covepure.com/Owen. And right now, when you go to covepure.com/Owen, $200 off your system. You heard that right, at covepure.com/Owen right now for this audience. $200 off your water filtration system. You're not going to beat it.
On the cutting edge of news and analysis, the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
All right, guys. Well, I don't even want to get into it. It's so bad. It's so bad coming out of the White House today. It looks like, as the title said yesterday, it looks like war with Iran is inevitable. The only question was, is it going to be a similar situation to what we've seen in the past with President Trump, where we can pretty much do a job and get in and get out and keep it clean and not have a larger issue, not have a larger conflict? We were hoping that would be the case with this, but some of the latest developments as far as China and Russia specifically are concerned, I'm not so sure this one can be done so clean. I'm not so sure. Now, I'm not going to get into that today because it's all kind of developing right now as far as what involvement China may or may not have, what involvement Russia may or may not have, and then how that could implicate the rest of the geopolitical international community. But it does look like there's some movement there. It does look like there's some movement. Now, what's funny is the backdrop of all of this is obviously the midterms. And you think about from the Trump angle, he obviously doesn't want to deal with the impeachment because I think this time it might be a little more serious. I don't think we're dealing with the impeachment hoaxes from the first administration. I think the Democrats could have some real weight should they win in the midterms, the House and the Senate. I could see there being problems, and I could even see Republicans turning on Trump, quite frankly, is how bad this is getting. And I think they could have some real ammo when it comes to these boat strikes, when it comes to the Maduro capture, and who knows, maybe even when it comes to the Iran strikes, because we're talking about military action or even war without congressional approval. And you're going to hear all the different legal experts, and depending on where they land politically, they're going to tell you, no, it's fully within the presidential powers, or no, it's outside of the presidential powers. But there's a real debate there. There's a real debate there, and I think that there's a real impeachment opportunity, not just the total hoax that we dealt with in the first administration. So certainly Trump is thinking about that. Now, as far as the Republicans go, you wonder how much they even really care about policy anymore, especially after what we've seen with this administration and the Republicans having the House and the Senate and doing virtually nothing with it. I mean, virtually nothing. And they sit here and wave the pom-poms and take the victory laps. No one's buying it. No one's life has changed that dramatically. Washington, D.C. has not had major reform. We're not seeing major reform in the federal bureaucracies. We're not seeing major reform in D.C. We can barely even get major reform as far as the votes and elections are concerned. The only real major reform we've had is that we've closed the border, which should be the standard anyway. So that's really the only thing they can hang their hat on. And it's insulting. They're talking about tax cuts. We've cut taxes on Social Security. Yeah. Why don't you just piss in my face and tell me it's water too? Cutting taxes on Social Security. You mean our tax dollars? You mean the money that we already get taxed and then you're double taxing it? Screw you. Screw you. A victory on stopping taxes on Social Security. How about we just start cutting taxes, period? How about we find a way to make sure that Americans are paying, I don't know, less than 10% would be nice. Less than 5% should be the standard of the money that they earn on taxes. Right now, you're looking at about 30, 35%, maybe even 40, depending on who you are. And then we find out Palantir didn't pay any corporate taxes with their $1 billion of revenue. And I'm not a big tax the rich guy. I want to cut all taxes. I say cut them all. Cut corporate taxes, cut all the taxes. But yeah, that one stings a little bit. That one stings a little bit. And they think this is some victory lap for them on the economy. And they're delusional. So do the Republicans even really care about policy? Do they even really care about victory at this point? Or is it, hey, I'm going to continue to get rich. My stock options are going to continue to go up. I'm going to continue to get the special interest money, the foreign interest money. I'm going to get rich. Who cares about policy? Who cares about the midterms? Flush them. Because that's exactly what's happening. If we get into a larger conflict with Iran, look, if Trump can somehow pull this job off and keep it clean and get in and out, it might not be totally devastating. Now, some might say it's already totally devastating. I would probably say it's already totally devastating, but it's like you can maybe repair it. It might not be totaled. The car might still be operational. But if you get into a larger conflict and you get boots on the ground, or it takes weeks or months or even longer, forget about the midterms for Republicans. Forget about 2028 for Republicans. And then I don't even think we can really grasp what this war might look like. I think everybody's kind of assuming that this thing is going to go the way the rest of them have. I don't know if that's a safe assumption. That's assuming China's going to back off. That's assuming Russia's going to back off. That's assuming Pakistan and India are going to stay out of it. I don't know if you can make those assumptions. And that's assuming Iran isn't going to try to have some military action in response to all of this. I don't know if you can make all those assumptions. Those are some pretty heavy assumptions to make here. But they know this. The administration knows this. The Republicans know this. And they're going to do it anyway. They're going to do it anyway. And, just as an aside, because it's all kind of on the same playing field right now, it's never been more obvious why we're getting sold out by our politicians, by the White House, the foreign interests, the special interests, the donor class, and specifically Israel, Netanyahu. They run the show. They run the show. So they get whatever they want. They use the U.S. military as their own, which is becoming more and more offensive and obvious to the average American. They're getting pretty ticked off about it, I'll have you know. They don't like that. So that's all happening. But on the same field, but in a different side of it, I talked about yesterday how I've been getting a lot of incoming with this Huffines situation. Now, Huffines campaigned against Abbott, and he was kind of the outside anti-establishment candidate. Ran a decent campaign, but up against the mountain of the GOP, up against the incumbent Greg Abbott. And there was, it was a tough primary. So as usual, Republicans are scattered and couldn't rally around him. So he comes back running for comptroller, more winnable race, a little more name recognition, a little more momentum. And now he's got this Epstein Ranch debacle. And, I've got people on all sides of this sending me incoming. And I'm telling this story to try to just get you to understand where I'm at here. I don't want to think, I don't even know if I do think that Huffines is a bad guy. And maybe he is a good guy, and maybe he would be good to get in there. But I'm looking at it now, and I'm just like, all right, how can you, it's like the same thing with Trump. It's like, how can you mismanage something so bad? How can you it's like, oh, well, it was a great opportunity for me to purchase this property cheap. Do you need the money? Like, did you need the money that badly? How did you not know when you purchased that property that you were going to tank your political career? How did you not know that? How could nobody have measured that for you? And then it's like, okay, maybe you can do that. Maybe you can do that job and then come around on the other side and say, hey, look, I'm with the people. Go into the ranch, do whatever you want. It's my land. When y'all are done investigating it, whatever, I'll do what I need to do with it. We'll make it a Christian retreat, whatever. We'll send in exorcists. It's my land now. Go ahead. Go in there. Go to the compound. Examine the compound. Examine the land. Do whatever you want. All the Epstein creeps, all of them need to go down. It's like, okay, you could have salvaged it. And now he's doing media rounds, and he's talking about how he's destroying the whole thing. And I'm just like, what are we doing? Don't you understand now? It looks like you're burying evidence. I don't want to think you're bad. I don't want to think that you're not with us. I've got people I trust that say that you're good. You've got a good political track record. But I'm just like, how are we so dumb? How are we so stupid here? The fallout from purchasing the ranch. Maybe you can recover that. Now you're going around saying, I'm destroying the thing. Well, there goes the evidence. Not that obviously, whatever evidence was there that was consequential, obviously is already gone. I don't know, maybe there might be something hidden out in the mountains. Maybe there might be some stuff buried. But as far as the complex is concerned, obviously, anything of consequence is gone, long gone. But even the infrastructure itself, like even the structure and the layout, there might have been something there, something of interest. I know I'd be interested. And now they're saying, well, we're just going to destroy whatever's left of the evidence. Oh, my God. And I'm looking at it. I'd like to vote for him. He's got billboards all up and down Austin. I forget what they say, but it's like, it's drain the swamp. It's, cut the waste, fraud, and abuse, stuff that's on message, stuff that we say that we want. And I might even believe that that's true with him. And now I'm just sitting here. I'm like, oh my God, don't you get it? We're not electing anyone ever again connected to Epstein. Do you understand? Like, it's over. It's over. I don't see all of the people telling me how great he is. Oh, and then what's even worse now? This is what's even worse. All the cuck-servatives and all Conservative Inc. that has sold out right-wing politics for years, now they're all endorsing him. And I'm just like, I'm out. Okay? I'm out, bro. I don't care anymore. I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of the corrupt right-wing politics. I'm so sick of Conservative Inc. taking everything that could be good, taking a political movement that could maybe save our country, taking right-wing conservatism, whatever it is, nationalism, America first. I'm so sick of Con Inc. getting involved in this stuff and ruining it every single time. And then you know what? And then you know what happens? We lose. That's what happens. And now I'm watching the exact same thing happen with Huffines. And I'm just sitting here like, hey, I don't want to distrust people. I know some of these people I know personally. They're good people. I know they're good people. I trust them, what they're saying to me. And then I see the likes of the Con Inc. groups now talking about Huffines and saying, oh, don't worry about the Zorro Ranch. I'm just like, I'm out, bro. I'm out. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I cannot do it. I am not an insane person. I'm not going to go, and I'm not alone, by the way. And I might be in the minority, but I'm enough of a fraction. I'm enough of a percentage of people that you'll never win elections without me. You will never win elections. I cannot go pull the trigger for anybody connected to Epstein. Cannot do it. I just can't do it. That's it. It's done. I cannot go to the poll and vote for anybody that's endorsed by Con Inc. I cannot do it. Trump was the last shot you had. Trump was your last gasp. Trump was the last time we're going to roll the dice on that. We're done. Because look at what we got with Trump round 2. We're done. We're out. It's not worth it. It's not worth it anymore. We're not insane people. We're not selling out our audience. We're not selling out right-wingers. We're not selling out Christians. We're not selling out conservatives. We're done. Oh, but and the Democrats are going to win. So what? What's the difference? A secure border? Is that it? Is that it? What else you got for me here? We're done. I can't do it. And I know I'm not alone. It's so cringe. It's so depressing. I voted for Huffines for governor. I'd love to go vote for him for comptroller, and maybe he wins. Maybe it doesn't matter. But I'm just sitting here looking at this, and I'm just saying, I can't do it. It's like 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes. I can't do it. Okay? I can't sit here and watch Con Inc. destroy another right-wing conservative movement. I can't sit here and watch all the Epstein stuff and then go vote for people connected to it. I can't do it. I won't do it. My instincts tell me not to do it. My soul tells me not to do it. My conscience tells me not to do it. I can't do it. So let me know if the right wing ever wants to do it. Let me know when you guys want to be serious about saving the country. Let me know. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm waiting. We're willing. We're ready to go. Let me know when you guys are ready, okay? We don't care. This is the new age. This is the coming of age right wing. Unfortunately, the left wing is going to beat us to it and probably win the next 2 election cycles now, especially if we get into war with Iran. This is the coming of age of the new right. We're not here to sell people out. We're not here to take the money. We're not here for the access. We're not here for the glamour. We're not here for the clout. We're not here for the pictures. Okay? You guys all sold us out. You sold all of us out. You stood for nothing. And this was our big shot right now from 2024 to 2026. This was our chance to actually do something, to actually have a conservative government, to actually use the Republican Party to pass meaningful legislation and engage in real reform. And you didn't do it. And we're sitting here watching you take victory laps, watching you wave the pom-poms. We're out. We're out. Don't tell me about the midterms. I don't want to hear you crying about the midterms. You did this, not us, you. And we'll get into this now. They're having meetings at the White House to talk about the midterms. How dumb are you? It's so easy. It's so easy. You want to win the midterms? Let me tell you, I guarantee you, they spent millions of dollars on this digital influence campaign and bringing all of these people into the White House. This was $1 million think tank operation, I guarantee you, apparently headed by Susie Wiles. Now, again, who knows the digital influence campaign that went out today talking about this big midterm huddle with 100 powerful men and women run by Susie Wiles. We're going to win the midterms. They've got it now. Who knows how much truth there is to that? But that was what the digital influence campaign was today. I guarantee you they probably spent $1 million to make this thing happen. Here, let me do you guys the favor. I'm going to give you this advice for free. I'm so generous. I'm such a nice guy. I'm going to give you this advice for free. Do you want to know how to win the midterms? It's really simple, actually. It's really simple. You don't need to bring in 100 people. You don't need to spend a bunch of money on digital influence campaigns and marketing and email threads and everything else. No, it's pretty simple. You want to win the midterms? Here's what you do. You keep deporting illegal aliens till there's none left. That's what you do. You arrest every single MFer that was connected to Jeffrey Epstein as a co-conspirator, which we know you have at least 30 of. And you say, oh, we cut a deal. And Anna Paulina Luna is slowly taking the lid off of this thing. She mentioned one of them in a recent interview. She says, well, you see this name redacted in the emails engaging in some stuff. Well, they cut a deal. That co-conspirator cut a deal with the DOJ, the prior DOJ. You want to win the midterms? Bring in every damn co-conspirator in cuffs on camera and shove them into a cell. You want to win the midterms? Send President Trump out to the podium to make an announcement to the American people. We are not spending another dime on foreign aid. Not another dime on foreign aid. Not a penny. You want to win the midterms? Send out President Trump and Pete Hegseth and anybody else and talk about how we're going to start bringing our troops home to fix our country. You want to win the midterms? Bring Elon Musk and Doge back and actually get $1 trillion in savings annually in waste, fraud, and abuse and arrest every single fraudster in this country. I don't care if they stole $1 or $1 billion, arrest them all. I want thousands of arrests. That's how you win the midterms. It's not war with Iran. It's not another $1 billion for this country and $1 billion for that country. It's not a sorry, can't do the deportations in Minnesota anymore. It's not a we're not going to tax Social Security. That's already our tax dollars. But they get 100. They bring 100 powerful men and women to the White House, and Susie Wiles runs the meeting, and they spend $1 million on a digital influence marketing campaign, and they're going to strategize how to win the midterm. I just told you how to do it in 5 minutes. And everybody knows that's how you do it. And everybody knows I'm right. It's never been more obvious. It's not like I'm telling you some secret. It's not like I got some secret formula here. It's not like I got a crystal ball. This is common sense stuff. What a disaster. All right. So we got the statement from Trump here. This is from this morning as they're building up this war with Iran for the foreign interests, the donor class, Netanyahu. It's never been more obvious. I've been telling Prime Minister Keir Starmer of the United Kingdom that leases are no good when it comes to countries and that he is making a big mistake by entering a 100-year lease with whoever it is that is claiming the right title and interest to our Diego Garcia, talking about a base. So just get out, Trump. Just bring our troops home. It's popular. Everybody wants it. We're sick of it. It'll save us money. How much money are we spending on this military buildup in Iran, by the way? How much did we spend on the operation in Venezuela, by the way? Nobody knows because it didn't go through Congress. Strategically located in the Indian Ocean, our relationship with the United Kingdom is a strong and powerful one, and it has been for many years, but Prime Minister Starmer is losing control of this important island by claims of entities never known before. In our opinion, they are fictitious in nature, and this is all to build up to this is about Iran. Should Iran decide not to make a deal, it may be necessary for the United States to use Diego Garcia and the airfield located in Fairford in order to eradicate a potential attack by a highly unstable and dangerous regime, an attack that would potentially be made on the United Kingdom as well as other friendly countries. Oh, Europe is going to take real kindly to this. Prime Minister Starmer should not lose control for any reason of Diego Garcia by entering a tenuous, at best, 100-year lease. This land should not be taken away from the UK, and if it is allowed to be, it will be a blight on our great ally. We will always be ready, willing, and able to fight for the UK, but they have to remain strong in the face of wokeism and other problems put before them. Do not give away Diego Garcia. These are the ramblings of a madman. These are the ramblings of a man who's lost control of his own foreign policy, who's losing control of the chessboard, and is now trying to drag the United Kingdom into this war with Iran. And yesterday, Trump told the press, well, we have to go to war with Iran because they're trying to assassinate me. Well, where would Trump get that idea? So Trump's about to start a war with Iran because he's got intel that they want to assassinate him. I wonder where he got that intel.
I want to talk about the nuclear threat. I want to talk about President Trump. You just said Iran tried to assassinate President Trump twice. Do you have intel that the assassination attempts on President Trump were directly from Iran?
Through proxies, yes. Through their intel, yes. They want to kill him. Look, he's enemy number one.
What did he even just say? He's such a liar. Netanyahu is such a liar. I cannot believe this man is controlling our foreign policy. I cannot believe this man is controlling our military, and Trump is letting him do it. I'm sick. I'm disgusted. Listen to this pathetic answer from this known liar.
You just said Iran tried to assassinate President Trump twice. Do you have intel that the assassination attempts on President Trump were directly from Iran?
Through proxies, yes. Through their intel, yes.
What does that even mean? Through proxies, yes. Through their intel, yes. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Look at how pale in the face he is. This guy knows he's a liar. This guy knows he's the biggest war criminal on the planet, and everybody knows it. This guy knows he's tanking global support for Israel. This guy knows he's tanking U.S. support for Israel. That's why he looks pale and ghost white in the face, because he knows he's the most evil man in the world, and everybody knows it now. And all he has is Trump. And now Trump's giving him our military. I'm sick. I am sick.
Through proxies, yes. Through their intel, yes. They want to kill him. Look, he's enemy number one.
They want to kill him. So now it's not even that they tried to kill him. Now it's they want to kill him. So this is just, it's the same fake intel they said Iran drones off the East Coast. Remember that big lie? All this guy does is lie. All the Israeli intelligence assets do is lie to our media and lie to our Congress people to trick us into acting in Israel's interests.
He's a decisive leader. He never took the path that others.
And now he knows. And see, now Netanyahu knows, all right, I just told a big, fat, stinking lie. So what do? I'm going to fluff Trump. That's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to fluff Trump up. I'm going to make sure he looks good. I'm going to boost his ego. I'm going to stroke his narcissism. That's how they work Trump over. All right, I'm going to shut up and play the clip.
Directly from Iran?
Through proxies, yes. Through their intel, yes. They want to kill him. Look, he's enemy number one. He's a decisive leader. He never took the path that others took to try to bargain with him in a way that is weak, giving them basically a pathway to enrich uranium, which means a pathway to the bomb, padding it with billions and billions of dollars. He took up this fake agreement and basically tore it up. He killed Qasem Soleimani. He made it very clear, including now, you cannot have a nuclear weapon, which means you cannot enrich. He's been very forceful. So for them, he's enemy number one.
Yeah.
Look, they also tried to kill me, but I'm his junior partner.
When did
they
you
understand that President Trump is a great threat to Iran's plans to weaponize nuclear weapons and use them.
When did you tell President Trump you were going to launch these strikes?
Look, I've been in constant contact with President Trump. We've known each other for many years. And obviously, we informed our American friends and President Trump, our great friend, ahead of time. We did. He knew about it, of course.
I mean, there were reports.
Now, folks, it was just last year. This was all supposed to be over. It was just last year. This was all supposed to be over. We destroyed their nuclear capabilities. Obliterated, actually, was the official term from the White House. We obliterated their nuclear facilities, and we cut a peace deal in the Gaza Strip. This was all supposed to be over, folks. This was all supposed to be over. It was all a big lie. It was all a big lie. Whether or not we obliterated the nuclear facility or not, it doesn't even matter. It was never about that. It was always about regime change. It was always about Israel being our boss. It was always about Israel getting whatever the hell it wants. That's what it was always about. And, look, Trump tried to draw it down. Trump tried to draw it down, and that's why he was so obsessed with the headlines and so pissed off when the lie was getting called out, and they were saying, look, you didn't obliterate anything. Nothing was obliterated. And he kept doubling and tripling and quadrupling down because he wanted this to be over. He wanted that to be it. It was all a lie. It was never about the nuclear facilities. It was never about Iran being a threat to anybody. It was always about Israel's interest. Always. It was all a big lie. No new regime change wars. Well, let's see what happens with that. Let's see what happens with that. And that's why if they do this, you'll never have a Vance. You'll never have a Rubio. You won't win the midterms. You won't win 2028. It's over. It's over. If you give Israel what it wants in Iran and you let our military get used for foreign interests and the donor class again, it's over. It's over. You're a traitor. There's no other way to put it. You're a damn traitor. And you lied. You lied to us about obliterating the nuclear sites. And I understand why. I understand why you lied. President Trump wanted to put this behind us. President Trump wanted to put Gaza behind it. He wanted to put Iran behind it. But Israel would never let him do it. Israel wants everything and more. They will never be satisfied. And that's why they have to be completely cut off. And they can deal with their own issues. We have to completely decouple from Israel. And anything less will be a total failure. But see, I think Netanyahu knows that. I think the Israeli lobby knows that. And that's why they're going for everything right now. They know this is it. They know Trump is probably the last person that they can just own, essentially. They know this is probably the last administration and maybe the last Congress that Israel gets to be the boss of. So it looks like they're just going for everything. They're just going for everything. They know this is their final window of time, so they're going for everything. They have to get their regime change in Iran. Now they're talking about going for Turkey. They're going to take all the land. They're going to get all the land. They're going to get the West Bank, the Golan Heights, all of Palestine, all these deals that we're talking about. None of that's going to happen. It's all a lie, folks. Haven't you figured it out? It's all a lie. They lied about the nuclear sites. They lied about it being about the nuclear sites. They lied about the West Bank. They lied about everything. It's all a lie. And we're getting dragged into it yet again. But if there's a good news to all this, the American people see through it. The American people see right through it now. So I told you that they had this digital influence campaign, and you probably saw it. 100 powerful people meet at the White House to figure out the midterms. And Trump's about to go campaign in Georgia. He's going to endorse the AIPAC-backed candidate to take over Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat. That's going to happen. And so it's amazing that they just don't get it. They think that they can control us. They really do. Oh, my gosh. It's kind of like that scene with Bane. It's like, yeah, but the Democrats are going to win the midterms. And you think that gives you power over me? The Democrats will win the midterms. And this gives you power over me? You guys don't get it. You don't control us anymore. We are not brainwashed. Yeah, I know. I know you've got your people. I know you've got your segment of the right that's totally brainwashed. I know you've got your segment of the right that's totally in a cult. I know. Most of us aren't. Most of us think for ourselves. And we're sick of this crap. And we don't give a damn about your midterms. What is the use of a midterm if our entire government is bought and paid for? What is the point of a midterm if our entire government is compromised and sold out to foreign interests and special interests? What is the point of a midterm if no matter who we vote for, we get screwed either way? What is the point of a midterm? I don't want to care about your midterms. We can't even arrest a damn pedophile network. We can't even arrest a damn satanic pedophile blackmail network. Midterms. Kiss my ass. Midterms. Go out there and make 10 million deportations. Go out there and get $1 trillion in Doge cuts. Go out there and make 1,000 deep state arrests. Go out there and bring in every single one of Epstein's co-conspirators. And then you can tell me about midterms. And then you can talk to me about voting in the midterms. Until that happens, keep spinning on your hamster wheel thinking anybody's going to be watching you. And it's like, here's an example. And this is why you just, it sucks because they blew up the franchise. They blew up the dynasty. You know? There's no doubt, guys. The momentum behind MAGA and Trump and America First, all of this big populist, nationalist, common sense movement. I mean, folks, we had a dynasty. Really, we won 3 straight elections. We were gaining momentum. I mean, we had a dynasty. And now we're just watching them blow it all up. They're just blowing it all up. And they know it too. And then you see this, and this, again, it's like, these used to be players on these were stars on our dynasty. These were guys that we were all moving the ball in the right direction, like Mike Davis and this Article 3 project. Like, yeah, we don't see eye to eye on everything, but we were all kind of moving it in the right direction. Now they're just all sold out. Now they're just gone. They've blown up the dynasty. He goes on Turning Point. Listen to this crap. You think this is a winning message? What is this? Want accountability for lawfare against Trump and his allies? Then stop demanding every good person at the Justice Department sit through months of Epstein document review. What? What kind of a freak? What kind of out-of-touch Politico says it's time to move on from Epstein? You're out of your mind. There is no accountability on lawfare right now because Thomas Massie? What? You can't do deep state arrests because Thomas Massie? You can't do deep state arrests because the Epstein files? Do you guys even listen to yourselves? And this is what they're doing on the Charlie Kirk show. This is what they've turned the Charlie Kirk show into. You know, Charlie Kirk, who was against intervention in Iran. Charlie Kirk, who said never give up on the Epstein files. You know, that Charlie Kirk, who's conveniently for them no longer with us. And now they run his show and they promote the war in Iran. And they promote stopping the interest in the Epstein files. This is sick. You guys are sick. You guys are sick. And we all see it. So congratulations. You blew up the dynasty. You blew up the franchise. And you really think that you can just trick us and tell us the midterms or liberals. Screw you. Bye. Bye. You're taking the ship down. You're taking the ship down. You're destroying everything. You guys are the reason why this country continues to go downhill. And we all see you. And I guess, hey, you guys are all making more money than everybody else. You guys got more money than anybody. So I guess you don't really care, right? I mean, that's what it's all about for these people. They have all the money. They're making all the money. So they don't give a damn. Yeah, the country is sinking into oblivion. Yeah, the average American is just getting crushed. But hey, we need war with Iran. And hey, stop talking about Epstein. And then coming up next week, the State of the Union. The 24th of next week. How painful is this going to be, guys? This is going to be so painful. We already know how this is going to go. It's going to tell you how great the economy is. Nobody buys it. Going to tell you how he solved all of these wars. Nobody buys it. He's going to talk about how the agenda is America first and all this stuff. Nobody buys it. going to be painful, guys. It's going to be the worst gaslighting we've seen yet, probably ever, from President Trump. It really sucks, man. It really sucks. Everything we worked for, all the momentum, all the ground we gained, and we're literally just throwing it all into the middle of the table for foreign interests, special interests, and the donor class. That's it. All the suffering, all the sacrifice, all of the effort, the momentum, the movement, all of it has all just been sacrificed on the altar for the foreign interest, the special interest, and the donor class. All of it. Oh, sure, I hope I'm wrong. Nobody hopes I'm wrong more than me. But that's not what we do here. We call it as it is. We do political play-by-play. And this is what's happening. This is how we all see it. And the signs all point to it. And that's why they're sitting here having these emergency meetings and paying the digital influence campaigns to try to gaslight you and propagandize you and keep you in the cult. It's over. It's done. Sorry. The American people don't want to hear about the midterms if you're going to be covering up for satanic pedophile networks. And if you're going to tell me that that doesn't exist, or if you're going to tell me that that doesn't matter, move on, well, guess what? Now we're looking at you and saying, what the hell's wrong with you? You're awfully suspicious, and I want nothing to do with you or anything you represent.
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
All right, folks, with all of this craziness, and I'm sure you're seeing the headlines, I'm sure you're following the news, and you keep seeing gold and silver, gold and silver, gold and silver. It's everywhere. It keeps going up, by the way. It's trending in one direction. Now, you might be thinking, as you should be, about your own well-being, your own wealth. You might be thinking, what do I want to do with the money I have in the bank? What do I want to do with my savings, my 401k? Do I need to diversify? Do I need to get into gold? What do I need to do? Well, I'll tell you this. One thing you can do is give our friends at Allegiance Gold a call. That's it. Simple phone call. It's free. 844-790-9191. They'll answer all of your questions. And here's why. Before you make a decision with our friends at Allegiance Gold, they want to make sure that you are fully understood and have all the knowledge possible so that you can make the best decision for yourself. That's why they're all about information and understanding first and foremost. So just give them a call, 844-790-9191, or you can go to protectwithowen.com. Now, here's the deal that they have for this audience. $5,000 in free gold and silver with qualified investments. You heard that right. $5,000 in free gold and silver with qualified investments, whether through your 401k, IRA, or savings. They make it simple to move into precious metals. And as you know, the weight, $5,000 in free gold and silver with qualified investments, that weight is becoming less and less, ladies and gentlemen. So you might want to think about moving fast. Give them a call, as I said, 844-790-9191, or go to protectwithowen.com. It's time to make the move. So many people are doing it. So many people are seeing the signs that it's time to make a move, or at least consider it. But the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be. The longer you wait, the less that $5,000 in free gold and silver with qualified investments is going to weigh. You need to protect your wealth. You need to be asking these questions. You need to be getting the answers. You need to reach out to our friends at Allegiance Gold. Go to protectwithowen.com. That's protectwithowen.com. Protect your wealth because no one else will.
You found your political compass, the Owen Report.
All right, coming down to the wire here. I can't help it. We're watching the boys in the first elimination round here. The U.S. men's hockey team up against Sweden, winning right now. 14 minutes to go. By the way, Canada they had a near fall today. They had a near fall. They were down with a couple minutes left and then won in overtime. They did lose Sidney Crosby. He'll probably be out at least a game, but should they get to the finals, they'll probably bring him back. But hopefully the U.S. men's can survive this round against Sweden. We're monitoring that for you. We're monitoring the situation. We're pulling for the boys. All right. I got a couple clips here from Bongino interviewing Cash Patel. This is like part of the dynasty dying. These were our star players, and now nobody trusts them anymore. I guess I can't say nobody, but there's it's a major split. They've lost a lot of trust. They've lost a lot of that favor that the right wing MAGA world, however you want to say it, saw them in. There's no denying that. So you have the former FBI deputy director interviewing the current FBI deputy, or the current FBI director. And let's see how it goes. Got a couple clips here.
Everything's a level 10 decision, Cash. A level 10 meaning there's a pardon the language, but a shitty decision and a shittier one. Because if there was a good decision to be made, someone else made it. And then when those decisions, that's every day. I know you know this because I would knock on your door and you'd be like, "What now?" And I'd be like, "Here we go again."
So it's interesting to hear them because, there's a little bit of a behind the curtains type of stuff happening here. So you can kind of appreciate that. The problem is, essentially what they're admitting here is that they're now working, they're now FBI stooges. They're now working for the same corrupt FBI that we once stood against. I mean, that's essentially what I'm translating from this message.
Like something else will come up. But I just want to put into perspective for folks out there, when that decision can't even be made by me, it goes to you. When it doesn't go to you, it goes like to the president's desk. He's dealing with like level 11 decisions. And that's the thing in DC is that's why the batting average isn't always going to be 1,000. There's no good call to be made or someone else would have made it. There's just really tough decisions where, there's a shit call and a shittier call. And listen, that's what we signed up for. That's how it rolls.
Look, yeah, these are difficult
So you guys made shitty decisions. Okay.
decisions, Dan. That's why you volunteered to jump back in. It wasn't just going to be, hey, we're going to do this job. It's going to be super easy. We're not going to have to make any hard.
Now, by the way, on that thing, and I'll say something when I finish these clips about Bongino. There's something else going on with the Bongino situation, guys. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because Bongino, obviously had the top show on Rumble where he was an investor, but he also signed that massive radio deal. Now, I don't know the ins and outs of the contract, but it's, essentially He left. He left the contract. Now, he might have had a stipulation in there if he got offered a job from the president, or he could, make a decision to leave or whatever. So I'm not saying he violated the contract, or maybe they just let him do it and said, hey, all right, we understand. But he left. He made that decision to leave his show and to leave that massive radio contract. And it was, hey, look, this is the biggest opportunity of my life. He always said, the only way I would leave, the only way I would stop doing this is if the president asked me to do a job, and then he's gone in less than a year. That doesn't add up. Something else is going on with this thing, guys. I'm telling you, something else is going on, and you can see it in his body language, in my opinion. He's a different guy now, but I'll get to that after we finish these clips.
Our decisions, and we're not going to have to combat a press corps that has largely been biased and full of inaccurate reporting. But we made those decisions collectively in the best interest.
Nobody cares about the fake news anymore. You're dealing with the real independent media now. Nobody cares about the fake news. The criticism that you're getting from the independent media is legitimate. We're not talking about the biased fake news here.
Interest of the nation. And if we hadn't, then none of this would be true. None of this would be possible. If President Trump had made the hard decisions to allow us and give us the resources that we need, and to back the blue and law enforcement, and to prioritize working with state and local authorities, then we wouldn't be able to do what we did. But you're right. We had a lot of hard decisions. That comes with the territory of the job. But once you look outside of the cauldron of Washington, D.C., and this is one of the things that, I'm trying to remind myself of every day. Outside of here, there is a different America than the one that lives in the national capital region. And I try to remind myself every day when making those difficult decisions that you talked about, that we make on a daily basis, that we are making a decision collectively for the rest of America, not just for the minority of people that are living part-time in Washington, D.C.
Then why are we protecting all of the Epstein co-conspirators? That's not for the American people. But, I do appreciate some of the kind of transparency of the process, but it's not really, there's not much weight to it. Okay, you make difficult decisions. Yeah, no kidding. You're the government gangsters guy. This is Bongino, the deep state guy. He wrote the books on it. And you guys didn't deliver on any of that stuff. That's just the fact. And the criticism that you're getting is coming from independent right-wing Trump voting media. Not the fake news, biased news. Nobody cares about them anymore. Let's go to this clip.
We're going to look at the facts that exist. We're not going to try to make up facts that don't, so we can serve a political narrative. And wait till and I know you know this, but wait till you see what's coming in the next month or two.
I love this. So they're talking about the Antifa cells. They share this story from November from the United States Attorney's Office. Antifa cell members indicted in Prairieland shooting. So they've had a couple indictments out of these Antifa groups, but they've not gone after the actual funders. They've not gone after the actual organizers as they said they would and as they need to do. And because they didn't, there are 2 Americans dead during these ICE protests, which is bad for the administration, bad for the midterms. That's just a fact. I don't care what your debate is. I don't care if you think they deserve to die or not. The fact is, most Americans see that and they look negatively upon that. That's just the facts. And you have to deal with the reality. Most Americans are only seeing the headline, ICE kills protester. That's it. They're not seeing the video of Preddy, committing multiple crimes and bashing in the fender and the tail light of the ICE vehicles. They're not seeing that. They're not seeing all the engagement that led up to Good getting shot. They don't see any of that. They see a headline, ICE kills protester. That's it. So, hey, we can complain about the fake news. We can complain about how Americans are propagandized. That's the reality of your situation. And because Pam Bondi did not shut down the funders and organizers, 2 Americans are dead from an ICE shooting. That is a fact. So they're getting into this now. So I love this. Listen to what he says here. So they're talking about, we're going after these left-wing organizers and fundraisers. And there's one word that persists. Wait. How long do we have to wait? We have been waiting for 8 freaking years, bro. Do we have to wait another 4 and then we're out of office? And then what? How long do we have to wait? This waiting game is not paying off.
We're going to look at the facts that exist. We're not going to try to make up facts that don't so we can serve a political narrative. And wait till you, and I know you know this, but wait till you see what's coming in the next month or two on the funding streams related to this. You and I have launched a serious investigation. We had said these organizations don't operate alone, don't operate in silence. They operate with a heavy, heavy stream of funding. And we started looking into it. And guess what, Dan? We found them.
So then what are we waiting for? So then tell me, what are we waiting for? Another American to get shot? Another ICE protest stopping another round of deportations? What are we waiting for? If you got them, what are we waiting for? We're done waiting. Don't you get it? Hey, wait, we need to have another war with Iran. Hey, wait, we need to do what Israel wants. Hey, wait, we need to do what the donor class wants. Hey, wait, we need more foreign aid. Hey, wait, hey, wait, hey, wait, hey, wait. You say you've got them. What am I waiting for? And then here it is again. John Solomon, who essentially works directly with the White House.
Now
he goes on the Bongino show. Same thing.
we have a bunch of lazy senators who want to threaten the filibuster and not get off their feet and talk and really represent the people and stand for what they believe in. And all the American people are asking John Thune to do is to restore the Senate to the way it used to work before Mitch McConnell's lazy filibuster ideas kind of came into play. And I think that the American people are going to be there. Here's what I think is going to happen, Dan. And I think you probably know some of this because you had a foresight into some of the things that the Bureau now knows that was kept from the American public. I think Donald Trump is going to change the narrative in America. I think he's going to change some senators' minds, and he's going to do it by revealing some of the things that Chris Wray and that Chris Krebs and other major officials who were in charge of the integrity of our elections and who told us it was a perfect election in 2020. He's going to start revealing some of the intelligence that was kept from the American people. And we're going to see that our foreign adversaries have monkeyed with our system more than we knew, more than those driver's licenses coming into Chicago that you helped get all of us to understand about a few months ago about China sending fake driver's licenses to help Joe Biden in. There are going to be significant efforts by foreign powers, some friends, some enemies, that were trying to meddle in the system, and they got pretty far down that path. And I think when senators realized their state could have been targeted, when senators realized that the intention of the identities of some of their voters might have been assumed, I think there's going to be a different debate in America. And I think if the president takes the time to educate people and show them that maybe the stories we got from the last leadership weren't true, I think he's going to pick off the votes. And then the American people are going to put some pressure on John Thune, and they're going to surgically implant a stiff back, and he's going to change that filibuster for this particular thing, make it a standing filibuster, make the Democrats talk till they drop, and then we'll get a vote in the summer. But I think there's some big, significant, and very troubling revelations about the vulnerabilities of our elections that the president is about to unveil on the American public.
So more weight, more political games. Every single statement he makes is couched by maybe. And I would get behind this. I would get behind this if we had some sort of proof from the last Trump administration that they can operate strategically. I would get behind this if, say, they weren't doing meetings about how to win the midterms and they weren't running digital influence campaigns and Trump wasn't going to go campaign in Georgia for the AIPAC-backed candidate and standing with Lindsey Graham instead of Thomas Massey. I could get behind it and say, okay, I'm willing to wait. All right, I'm willing to say, let's see what Trump's strategy here is. But we already did this. We already did this for 4 years. There was no strategy. They stole the election. And we're a year into this administration and everything is tanking. So again, let me know when we get results. That's it. Let me know when we get results. I'm done with these couched statements. I'm done with the wait and sees. I'm done with the you're going to see. Trump's got the strategy. We got it figured out. Oh, they meddle in our elections. Wow. No kidding. Oh, and notice, Oh, everybody's willing to be loud about the stolen election now. Everybody's willing to be loud and talk about the stolen 2020 election now. Where were all of you guys in 2020? Where were all of you then? When we were calling it out and we were doing national campaigns and then ultimately getting arrested for it. Where were you all then? Oh, now you're willing to talk about it. Gotcha. And now you want to tell us to wait. Let me know when something happens. I'll be right here. Let me know. Let us all know. All right, let's start. Well, maybe we'll pick this one up later. Well, I mean, it's all in the interest of the administration, so I guess we can do this one now. Data center giant secures $14 million deal to consume 40% of Pennsylvania town's excess water. The data center will get access to 400,000 gallons of water per day, enough to serve over 2,300 homes. This is becoming a big story, guys, all across the country. There's a big fight right now in Texas over this to bring in these data centers that are going to suck up the majority of the energy usage on the power grid, not to mention the water usage. Some of these areas in Texas have water shortages. There's water limits in some parts of Texas. And so now there's some fights in Texas. There's fights in Pennsylvania. There's other fights where you have farmers and they've got these massive plots of land. And the data centers are coming in here and making them big offers to buy their land. And they're saying no. There's a big fight in Florida over this stuff. Now, of course, the administration and all of the special interests in the donor class and the Trump family, they're all set to make billions of dollars on this stuff. So they're trying to push all this stuff through and get it all going because they're all set to make billions of dollars. And that's why Trump pushes this so much and says we need it so badly, because they're about to make billions of dollars is why. And, let me go back because, you try to make sense of it all. And sometimes I guess it's kind of dangerous at times to try to make sense of the nonsensical. It's a little dangerous to try to make sense of the nonsensical, right? Okay. So let's do this. I'm still just sitting here watching what's happening with this administration, and I'm just in disbelief at how bad it is. I tell you, I live in disbelief at how much it's sold us out, at how much it's betrayed us. Honestly, I can't even believe it. And that's why I'm sitting here with other, just minds that are trying to figure out. And it's like, okay, well, is the administration really this bad? Like, what are the odds that the administration is actually this bad versus the odds that QAnon is real? And I just use that as an example. I just use that as a odds percentages measured example. So I just can't believe it. And I try to make sense of it. And I say, do they know something? And I look at Bongino, and this is what I forgot to say about Bongino, and I'll say it now because I kind of land in the same realm of conclusions here. I look at Bongino since coming back to his show after his stint at the FBI. And everybody can see this is a different man. He is a different person. And I'm not saying he's a clone. I'm saying you can see it. Physically, he looks different. His attitude, his aura, his approach, there's nothing, it doesn't have the thrust. It doesn't have the energy. It doesn't have the aura. He's a completely different man on air. It's almost, and this kind of goes into the same thing with Trump. It's almost like they're just going through the motions. It's like they don't even want to be there anymore. The passion is gone. The drive is gone. And it feels like they just have to be there, or they're just doing a job. It's like there's no passion. Like, I hope when you tune into my show, like, I hope you see, I want to be here. I enjoy this. I enjoy the audience. I appreciate the audience. I put everything I have into this show. I hope that that's how it comes across. It's not there. It's not there with Trump. It's not there with Bongino. They look like they're just going through the motions. They look like they're just punching the clock. The passion is gone. The drive is gone. It's gone. It's empty. It's a shell of themselves. And so I think, well, why? Why is that? Do they know something we don't know? Now, again, I've said this. I'll be critical of Dan Bongino, whatever. But as I've said before, part of me, I get a little concerned about the guy. He's a little. Is he sick? He's had an issue with cancer before. He took the vaccine. Is he sick? Did he want to leave the FBI because he's sick and he wants to spend the rest of his time with his family and make as much money for his family as possible? Did he have personal issues? Did he see stuff behind the scenes that no man should ever have to see, and now he knows he can't do anything about it, and he's lost? He's lost because of it. It's kind of the same with Trump. Even from the first couple of months of Trump, guys. Even from the first couple of months. And you go back, I don't know if I would recommend you doing this. But if you go back and you watch the inauguration, it's extremely cringe now. I will tell you, it's going to blow up your cringe meter now watching it after a year. But you even look at Trump. Trump had the energy. Trump had the aura. Trump had the excitement. Like he was there for it. He was in the moment. It's gone. It's not there anymore. It's disappeared. Why? Why is that? Do they know something? Do they know that there's a coming cataclysm? Do they know that there's a coming war? Do they know that something is so big that's going to happen, but they can't tell us because it's just, you can't? And they know this, and now they're just kind of waiting it out and just like, yeah, it's going to be really bad, but I can't tell anybody. It's like, oh boy. So I just got to do what's best for me and my family. So for Trump, it's like, I got to make as much money and power for my family. For Bongino, same story. I just try to make sense of it. Because I can't believe, whatever you think about Trump, whatever you think about Bongino, it's like, I can't believe it's this bad. It's unbelievable that it could be just this bad. I mean, we're all seeing it, but let's get back into the news here. I wish our politicians spoke like this. This is obviously in a foreign language, but I'll just sum it up for you. Poland's Prime Minister Tusk, we won't join Trump's peace council. We won't send troops to Gaza, and we won't fund reconstruction there. Our money is needed for Polish cities. In other words, the Prime Minister of Poland is putting Poland first. The Prime Minister of Poland is putting Polish interest first, and Polish cities first, and Polish people first. Wouldn't it be nice? Could you even imagine if we had a president or we had any politicians that put America first and put American interest first? Wouldn't that be nice? I can't even imagine. Our country would truly be great. We'd have the most sprawling metropolises. We'd have the safest cities. We'd have the most beautiful cities, the cleanest cities, the highest standard of living. But because our politicians sell us out, and because trillions of our money goes to foreign interest and special interest in foreign countries, well, you see what's happened to our country, falling apart, decaying in every way, shape, or form. Everybody's scrapping to be part of the haves, but we're still mostly in the have-nots. Oh, boy. All right, I've got some total cringe for you here. Are you guys ready for some absolute cringe? This stuff is actually hilarious. The Manhattan Institute, which is funded by Paul Singer, They had this event. Tickets for a VIP were $250,000. Paul Singer Foundation and Bill Ackman's The Korob Trust, founded to combat anti-Semitism, two of the top donors. So they make up awards to build up Ben Shapiro and give him awards. This is the most pathetic cringe. I mean, this is beyond Hollywood slop from Douglas Murray, who's one of the biggest cucks in the history of the world, I think. Watch this.
I can think of nobody in American public life of whom it can be said that he marches in the ranks of honor than the man that we're gathered here this evening to honor. Somebody I'm very proud to call a friend and a colleague, the recipient of the 2026 City Journal Award, Ben Shapiro.
Have you ever seen anything more phony in your life? Have you ever seen anything more phony and more contrived in your life? They literally just make up awards and give them to themselves. And they send Douglas Murray up there, who's the biggest phony, pseudo-intellectual. Like, he's so honorable. Oh my gosh. It's like he's doing some Hollywood presentation. It's so pathetic. Oh, man, that's good. And then there's Mark Levin. He started a new show, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Levin has started a new show. It's called The Case for America. All right? Mark Levin debuts his new show, The Case for America. So obviously it's going to be, patriotic, pro-America type content to lead us off. So let's see Mark Levin's opening to his new show, The Case for America. Let's see.
So when people attack our founding, the Judeo-Christian belief system, which is the core of the Declaration, they're attacking our country. They're attacking the very essence of our country. They're attacking what took place 250 years ago. They're attacking our history.
Who's our?
So if you're Tucker Carlson.
Carlson.
And you're constantly trashing Jews or Israel, Zionism. And Zionism simply means what? A Jewish homeland. Muslims have over 50 Jewish homelands. Over 50 majority Muslim countries. Nobody attacks them for having majority Muslim countries. What Islamists are attacked for is trying to destroy anybody who doesn't agree with them. They're Christian majority countries. Ours, as an example, I proudly underscore the fact that this is a Christian majority country, and thank God for that. Because Judaism and Christianity do embrace the Enlightenment and are the basis of the Declaration. And you can see what a fantastic society was created. So if you're one of these so-called influencers and podcasters who keep attacking a particular faith, Judaism, or Christian Zionists, who keep platforming people who attack Jewish people or Christian people who are believers, or keep platforming foreign governments that are led by people who completely reject the American founding and the American system. They'll work with it. They'll spend money on it. They'll try to influence it. They'll try to control it. That is, these other countries. But they reject it completely. If you're one of those podcasters, one of those influencers, a phrase I don't even like, but if you're one of them, you are attacking this country every bit as violently as Islamists and Marxists.
Wow.
You're aiding and abetting them.
So Mark Levin says you're a terrorist if you don't put Israel's interests first. Gotcha. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that Mark Levin opens his show, The Case for America, and it's all about you better support Israel or you're a terrorist. Doesn't surprise me one bit. You know, I just hope that we have a country left in 2028 to maybe get a president in there that's going to serve America's interests. It's like, I just hope there's a country left, that they haven't totally looted everything and destroyed everything by then. Or God forbid, gotten us into a large war. I just hope there's something left, because I'm going to tell you guys. I'm going to tell you, all these foreign agents are all going down. You're all going down. You're done. We know who you are. You don't serve America's interests. You don't have America's interests at heart. You don't give a damn. You are literally here serving foreign interests. You are literally here in the media. You are literally here in politics. You are literally here to serve foreign interest. You're all going down. You're all going down, and you know it. And that's why you're running all this propaganda 24/7. That's why you're starting a new show called The Case for America, and it's all about the case for Israel. You're desperate. You're spiraling. You know you're losing everything. And in the process, you're going for broke, and you're only making it worse for yourself. And I don't think anybody really watches your shows anyway, and whatever financial support you're getting, it's probably all fraudulent anyway. But everybody looks at you now. Everybody looks at Ben Shapiro. Everybody looks at Mark Levin, Laura Loomer, now even Trump. And we look at you and we see foreign interests. We see traitors to the American people and the country. That's what we see. And that's what you've done. You did that. Now, the word is, and I haven't seen the latest, this was from a couple hours ago before we went live, Tucker Carlson detained in Israel. Journalist dragged into interrogation room as explosive interview sparks diplomatic firestorm. And you may have seen at the time. So he goes there to interview Huckabee. And they were like, oh, look at Tucker Carlson. He's a coward. He won't even leave the airport. No kidding, because he doesn't want to die. Because he doesn't want to get killed. Because he doesn't want to get thrown in jail. And then they do it anyway. I don't know if you guys saw all these developments. But it was the same names. It was the same people all trashing Tucker. Oh, he goes to Israel and then he's a coward. He won't even leave the airport. Well, they even arrested him there. Can you imagine if he went out in the streets, what they would have done to him? Probably would have tried to kill him. He shouldn't even have gone. Honestly, I feel like it was a trap. I feel like, and I'm not saying Huckabee was part of this, but I feel like it was a trap. I feel like this was a trap for Tucker Carlson to go there. And think about that. Oh, our greatest ally. Tucker Carlson is safer in Muslim countries than he is in Israel. Think about that. Our greatest ally. They don't believe in free speech. They're the ones censoring us. They don't believe in the right to privacy. They're the ones spying on us. They don't believe in American sovereignty. They're the ones gutting our country, stealing our money, buying our politicians, all for their interests. Our greatest ally. Tucker Carlson is safer in every single Muslim country on the planet than he is in Israel. Tucker Carlson didn't get detained in Russia. Tucker Carlson didn't get detained in Qatar. He got detained in Israel, our greatest ally. Conservative podcasting titan Tucker Carlson said he and his staff were detained in Israel on Wednesday following an interview with Donald Trump's ambassador to the country. The former Fox News host flew into Tel Aviv for a sit-down with Mike Huckabee, who challenged Carlson to speak to him directly following an online spat about the country's treatment of Christians. And then he gets arrested. And then the Christian Tucker Carlson gets arrested. Amazing. They confiscated his passport and hauled his team to an interrogation room. Tucker Carlson reportedly told the Daily Mail this. Men who identified themselves as airport security took our passports, hauled our executive producer into a side room, and then demanded to know what we spoke to Ambassador Huckabee about. It was bizarre. We're now out of the country. Oh, thank God they're safe. Oh, thank God. That's your greatest ally, guys. Incredible. And all the sickos, all the foreign loyalists and sickos that made fun of Tucker Carlson for not leaving the airport. Isn't it obvious why he didn't leave the airport? He could barely even get in and out of the airport without Israel detaining him. Crazy stuff. Hey, I got some good news, guys. I got some good news. There it is. I don't know. Should we spoil it in case somebody's waiting to watch it later, guys? USA advances to the semifinals. Congrats, boys. Great job. That's what Olympic hockey's all about. Going to be fun. All right. How do you like this one? Here's a couple dual headlines for you. You probably remember this story where a guy in Australia got arrested for calling Israel the enemy. He got 1 year. The guy that called an Australian citizen gets 1 year in jail for calling Israel the enemy. Meanwhile, a pedophile in Australia gets 3 months. Convicted of child sex offenses, you get 3 months. Convicted of speaking negatively about Israel, you get 1 year. How do you like that? That says a lot. And here's the judge, Magistrate Sharon Freund. She looks very Australian, doesn't she? Here's the judge that gave an Australian citizen a year in jail for criticizing Israel. She looks very Australian. Yeah. But you're a child molester, you get 3 months. Criticize Israel, 1 year. Molest a child, 3 months. Amazing. Now, we told you about former Israel Prime Minister Bennett, who came out and said it's time for us to use the U.S. military to go after Turkey next. Well, he's making more statements about this today. Let's listen in.
So we have to build a lot of assets, so they need us a lot. Because I've come to one conclusion: they're not going to love us. The aspiration that the world will love Israel, it's not going to happen. What we need is that our enemies fear us, our friends respect us, and everyone needs us. We tried the love us thing for about 3,000 years. Didn't work.
So they're just going to declare everyone their enemy, and then they're going to treat you as such, whether that means killing you, spying on you, arresting you, censoring you, debanking you, whatever. That's how they view it. And our government is letting them operate here. Our politicians, our president, our White House, our Congress is all letting them operate here. And they view you as an enemy. Make no mistake about it. That's what's happening. Unreal, man. Unreal. And so they know they're going to lose U.S. support. And I'm hoping they'll just leave us in peace and just say, hey, thank you. It would be the nice thing to do. It would be the noble thing to do for Israel to just leave in peace and say, all right, we spoiled the relationship with you, but hey, thanks. Thanks for the trillions of dollars. Thanks for letting us use your military. Thanks for letting us propagandize your people. Thanks for sending all of our pedophiles back here to the homeland. Thank you guys, but we'll leave in peace. The Israel loyalists and interest and agents will leave in peace. It's not really how they usually do business, but that'd be nice. So they know that they're losing the support of the American people. So we showed you last week how they're now running their propaganda in South Korea. You guys remember that? So Israel is now running a propaganda campaign in South Korea because obviously they're getting ready to find another country to go bleed dry. They're going to go find another country to use its military and steal all of its citizens' money for their own interests. So they've about worn out their welcome here. So they're getting ready to move to Asia, and they've been talking about this for a couple of years. So we saw that with South Korea. Now they're back, guys. Now they're back. And they're running the same campaign in India.
To meet the Jews of India!
And I found something I never expected. Jews that have been here for thousands of years.
We are the Jews of India!
Jews have been persecuted for thousands of years, but India is one of the only places in the world where Jews have never been persecuted.
Welcome to India! Shalom.
Salam alaikum world. He's Jewish, I think.
Jewish?
Muslim, alhamdulillah.
And where are we?
Here we are in Jewtown.
In Jewtown.
And in India, I met Bene Israel Jews that were shipwrecked here 2,000 years ago, Baghdadi Jews that fled Iraq, and Kochi Jews that came around the time of Jesus.
Our ancestors were shipwrecked along the coastline.
We are part of one of the lost tribe of Israel.
And I'm a Bene Israel.
Then there are the Baghdadi Jews, families who escaped persecution in Iraq and rebuilt their lives in cities like Mumbai.
They built one of the most important maritime hubs. It is still active today.
And in the south of India, the Kochi Jews have been here since before Jesus. They came to India during the ancient spice trade.
Hi, my name is Leah. I'm a Kochini Jew, and I'm a part of the oldest Jewish community in the world.
They built synagogues and even a town.
In Jewtown, everything is Jewish. The lamppost is Jewish.
What struck me most is that every single Jewish person I met in India told me the same thing.
I have never experienced anti-Semitism in my life.
I don't think I've ever in my life faced any form of anti-Semitism.
All our non-Jewish friends, they never made us feel different.
The Jews of India came at different times in history. They became proud Indians and proud Jews.
We all stay together, we blend with them, we dance, we are as one family. If you have never met an Indian Jew like me, please come to our house, I'll explain you everything.
Jews are not one story, not one place, not one look. I've gone to 12 countries around the world for my Jews Around the World series. But in India, I saw something different. A place where Jews from all over the world found peace in a land where they have always been welcome.
So it's literally the exact same campaign that they just did in South Korea last week. I mean, come on, man. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. All right. Yeah. It's going well, guys. Oh, man. Oh, man. Here's a story for you. A dark money group with ties to the Israeli government helped draft a Missouri bill that would make saying Israel is an apartheid state punishable in public schools. Oh, there they are attacking free speech again. Local Jewish, Muslims, and Palestinian organizers are pushing back. Oh, yeah. Believe it or not, there's actually Jewish Americans that believe in free speech and don't want to see this stuff happen. So, yeah, a lot of them are in St. Louis, I'll have you know. Organizers fight back as Missouri moves to crack down on Israel-related speech in schools. Rights groups warn HB 2061 will be used to silence criticisms of Israel and attack Missouri teachers. Folks, they don't even have speech laws on the books that are against American, anti-American speech. The only speech laws on the books in this country are against Israel or Jews. That's it. Those are the only speech laws on the books. Why is that? They got Spike Lee by the way. So Spike Lee wears the Palestinian flag at the NBA All-Star game, and they got him. How do you like this? He releases this statement. Much respect to Deni Avdija. That's the Israel player in the NBA. The first Israeli-born player in the NBA All-Star game. Congratulations. Also, to all the players in the NBA, there has been some conjecture about what I wore to the game on Saturday and Sunday. The clothes I wore are symbols of my concern for the Palestinian children and civilians and my utmost belief in human dignity for all humankind. What I wore was not intended as a gesture of hostility to Jewish people or to support violence against anyone, nor was it intended as a comment on the significance of Deni being an all-star. There were 28 players chosen to be in LA this weekend. I didn't know them all. And Deni playing for the Portland Trailblazers, a West Coast team. I didn't know Deni as the first Israeli-born NBA all-star. He can ball. Now I do know. Live and learn. Onward and upward. Peace and love. You dig? Show enough. Spike Lee. Yeah, you better apologize. You better apologize. You know, it's amazing. Spike Lee has done all sorts of anti-white expression, anti-white media, anti-white statements. Never offered an apology for that. But he offended, I guess he offended Israel now, so he's sorry now. So now he's forced into the struggle session apology. Very nice look. They gave him the Kyrie treatment. So you can do all kinds of anti-white campaigning in the NBA. You can do all kinds of anti-American campaigning in the NBA. But now, oh, you offend Israel? Oh, you need to apologize. This is the worst thing you can do. Unbelievable. Olympic broadcaster under fire for genocide comments about Israeli bobsledder. So he mentioned that this Israeli bobsledder is a extreme Zionist and celebrates what's going on in Palestine. So he mentioned that during the broadcast in Switzerland, and he's being punished for it, and he's being forced into the struggle session and the apology tour. Israeli Minister of Culture and Sports Mika Zohar urged the International Olympic Committee to censure Switzerland's broadcasting corporations after one of its commentators accused an Israeli athlete of supporting genocide. So there you go. Only one group you're not allowed to criticize. So apparently last night, and maybe you guys know a little bit about this. Apparently last night, Nick Fuentes was swatted. And this is apparently the moment it happened here. Now, here's what's crazy to me. I'm trying to get more info on this, and there's like nothing out there. Did you guys hear about this? Nick Fuentes swatted during a broadcast last night. There's like no information out there about this, I guess, outside of, Nick's audience talking about it on X when it was happening. There's nothing. There's no news coverage. There's no news stories. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So this is another swatting incident. And I don't know how bad it got with Nick. I haven't seen him, release, because I know he has at least some security cameras, I think, at his house. I would assume he's got something. So I don't know how bad it was for him, or if it was at the same level it was for me. Obviously, I released some of my security footage. But I'm sitting here, I'm like, how is this not, like, where is the news coverage of this? Where is the media? I mean, people did pick up my story. My story did get picked up by the media. It actually made international press. And maybe that's because I had the video. So I don't know how bad it was. But I'm sitting here, I'm like, there's no news coverage. And I don't really, this isn't about Nick's opinions. This is about another member of the American media getting swatted. And all it takes is one. All it takes is one, guys. And you've got a dead member of the media. All it takes is one. You saw the video with me. I had laser dots on me. I had laser dots on my head and back and chest. They literally pointed guns and had lasers on me. One slip of the finger, I'm dead. Now, I wasn't going to make a comment on this, and I'm still not going to make the comment, my intended comment, until next month, because next month is going to be the anniversary, let's say, of my swatting. And there has been nothing done. And this isn't just about me. This is about all the cases. This is about every single case. And now Nick's case as well. The FBI has done nothing. Now, local law enforcement, and by the way, it wasn't just me. It was my family and my extended family. Not just my direct family, my extended family. It was like the final number ended up being like 7 different houses that were just extended family of mine. All got either swatted or doxxed or the fake pizza deliveries. And there has been nothing. Now, some of the local law enforcement has been as helpful as they can be, but they only have so many resources. They only have so much tech. The FBI, one meeting, nothing. They're done. They do nothing. They promised us. Pam Bondi promised us. The FBI promised us that they would get down to the bottom of this and stop it. And now it's happening again. And now it's happening again. I don't get it. So I'm supposed to believe that we have the technology to literally put a pager on all of Israel's enemies and blow them up, even if they're in a market, but we can't get down to the bottom of who's doing these fake swattings that are wasting police resources, local resources, putting guns at innocent people's heads. This is despicable. This is such a dereliction of the FBI. This is such a dereliction of the DOJ. And if you guys can't do this, then just shut it down. I'm done with you. If you guys can't arrest Epstein pedophiles, if you guys can't stop innocent American media members from getting guns pointed at their heads because of fake swatting incidents, which is 100% attempted murder, by the way. 100%. Somebody tried to murder Nick Fuentes last night. Somebody tried to murder me a year ago. So you can attempt to murder members of the American press, and the DOJ and the FBI does nothing. And then they're going to go out and protect Epstein co-conspirators and clients. I'm sick of this, man. I am sick of this. Somebody is running around attempting to murder members of the American media, and the FBI and the DOJ do nothing. They do nothing. It's outrageous. And you know what? And they'll probably do it again to me. And luckily, I've got, some bit of a relationship with the local law enforcement here. They know me enough that I assume they're not going to point guns at my head again. I assume they're not going to kick in my doors and tear my house apart again over a fake police report. I assume that's the case. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Why is it that we tolerate these bad actors trying to murder members of the American media? Why are we tolerating this? It's completely and totally outrageous. All right, let's do this. Let's clear out this stack, and then, oh boy, we're going to get into the Epstein stuff. I got some raw Epstein files and some video clips. But let's do this. Megyn Kelly, and you know what? I think I want to pull up the Michael Savage clip too, but let's go to Megyn Kelly first. So I kind of took the leap first and said, I don't trust this Guthrie thing. I think it's a distraction. I don't really know what's going on, but it's definitely a distraction, and who knows how real it even is. So I was kind of the first. I think I was the first in the media to take that jump. I didn't see anybody else, and you can understand why. I can understand why nobody would want to make that leap. I took it. And now others are jumping in. And they're very suspicious about what's going on with the Guthrie thing. So this was Megyn Kelly's show yesterday.
Savannah's book, which was released in February of 2024, discussed a game she used to play as a kid with her cousin. And it was a kidnapping game involving Nancy. So we pulled the audio that Savannah did of her book. In it, you're going to hear her talk about her cousin Terry, who was, she said, like an aunt to her growing up. Terry's 20 years older than Savannah. So Terry would be 74 right now. But listen to this.
About once a year in the summertime, Cousin Terry orchestrated a kidnapping of my sister and me. It went down like this. The cousins would visit for a few days at our house in Tucson. And then, on the morning they were to leave, Terry would wake us up early, shushing us in the pre-dawn darkness as we made our escape. We would all pile into her rickety station wagon and head north, the sky streaking with bright oranges and pinks as the sun rose over the colorless desert landscape. Somewhere between Phoenix and Tucson, Terry would make a pit stop and let Annie and me call home at a payphone. "Mom, Cousin Terry kidnapped us to take us to her house." My mother would feign shock, protest how terribly she would miss us, then assure us she'd drive up to retrieve us in a few days.
Now, I'm sure it's just a coincidence that Savannah Guthrie is playing kidnapping games. And then with some of her family being implicated in the Epstein files, all of a sudden there's a kidnapping game going on with her mom, and it distracts the entire media from covering the Epstein files. I'm sure that's all just a coincidence, right, guys? Michael Savage weighed in on this as well. I'm going to pull this one up too. I wasn't going to do it originally, but let's go ahead and pull this one up. Spare me a second here. And it was nice to actually get a little response from Savage on this, by the way. You know, I've always been a fan of Savage. Even on the things we disagree with, I've always liked and respected him. So he did like my post. But so this was Savage on it.
Come up with another story to screw us over.
He posted this. Guthrie saga is a cover-up.
Every other day, they come up with another story to screw us over with their big lies. Meanwhile, we have this thing going on with the old lady in Arizona. I'm sorry. You know, if this was a sitcom, it would have been pulled off the air already. How many episodes of this Guthrie saga have we seen that we don't want to see anymore? You'd click past the saga, and yet they can't stop talking about it. Night and day, day unto night, night unto day, like you give a shit. Do you actually care about that crime story? How many children have gone missing in the last few years that you never heard anything about? How many children were raped on Epstein Island that you never heard much about and don't care much about? But one old lady goes missing from one liberal stooge on, I don't even know what channel she's on. I never saw Guthrie. I don't know who the hell she is. I think she's on a Good Morning America. I don't know what show she's on. So you look at the show, they don't stop. I don't even turn the news on anymore. I can't take it. Between that and ads for autoimmune diseases, I'm out. You know, I automatically go to Turner Classic Movies to watch 50s movies. That's all. I can't take it anymore. I'd rather go to a crime drama from the 50s than watch one more friggin' second of this Guthrie shit. I don't care about her. I know I'm supposed to say, I hope they find her. Well, they're not going to find her. She's dead. She's gone. And that friggin' sheriff, are you joking? Are you kidding? You tell him he's not involved some way in this? How many movies do you have to watch until you put 2 and 2 together and come up with 4? Why have they not polygraphed everyone in the family? That's what you usually do day one. Everyone in the family takes a polygraph. Day one. Day one. I don't know the history of it, but the fact of the matter is, it's a cover-up, gigantic cover-up. At the same time, this ludicrously poor story, this incredibly boring sitcom going on with no resolution, and now we're told it may take years for a resolution. You're going to watch it while Anderson Cooper has triple orgasms every day with another outfit out in the cold somewhere. First, he's in the cold in Minneapolis. Then he puts on a hot outfit for the desert. What a schmuck he is, my God.
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much nails it. I don't know if I agree with all the different aspects, but he the general direction, he nails it. And, you know, there's other stuff going on behind the scenes with some internal suspicion, because apparently Guthrie was like tanking. Nobody was watching her. The interest in her, like, she was tanking. She might have even been on her way out. People weren't watching her anymore. They weren't interested in her anymore. And apparently there was a lot of fear that she was about to lose her gig. So there's a lot of internal drama with people that are looking at her like, you know, is this a desperate move by her even? Now, folks, what's crazy is pretty much every move that they've made as far as the investigation is concerned has been a zero, has been a nothing. They've arrested the wrong guys. This new DNA, the latest thing was, oh, we got the DNA. The DNA has nothing. They have nothing on the DNA. Can't find any trace to it. And now they're saying they're going to use the DNA, the ancestry bases now to try to get a DNA match. So they already went into the federal databases. They already went into the crime databases, and they couldn't find a match. Now they're going into these, you know, these different private bases. You turn over your DNA for an ancestry test. Honestly, they'll probably go into, if you've done, like, there's different tests you can do when you're pregnant. There's different blood tests you can do. They're going to go into every single private base now where you volunteered DNA for an ancestry or for, you know, find out if you're the father or whatever it is. They're going into all of it now. They're going into all of it. And you're sitting here watching the same digital influence campaigns. Oh, look, the FBI, great job, Kash Patel, they got the guy. It's the wrong guy. Oh, great job, FBI, they got the DNA. They're going to do it. They don't have the DNA. Oh, look, they found a glove. Oh my God. Oh, it's a glove. We're going to find it. They don't. It's the wrong glove. It's nothing. It's getting, it's really starting to look like the whole thing might be fake, honestly. And I know nobody wants to say it. Nobody wants to say it, but oh, what a perfect distraction. What a perfect distraction from the Epstein files. What a perfect distraction. And so here's Scott Lebedo, and he has a different angle of this, and a totally fair angle. And I guarantee you the story he's about to share here is not the only one, but here's another angle.
Hey, America. I'm only asking for a friend. There's this young 15-year-old black girl, Leah Freeman, from Grostown, Georgia. She's been missing for a couple of weeks. Her family is dying to get her back. For some help to find this poor child. So I'm asking America, is there any way that we can borrow one of the 500 helicopters searching the fucking world for Miss Guthrie? Can we borrow one of the 500 bloodhounds searching throughout the woods of America for Miss Guthrie? Could we get one of those heating drones to help find this poor little girl, Leah Freeman? Can we get one of the dozens of dolphins with the laser on its head searching for Miss Guthrie? Can we borrow one of these fucking resources to try to find this little girl who doesn't come from a famous family? She's from the inner city, probably not a well-to-do financially, family, but a family never the fucking less, like the other 100,000 missing children. All due respect to the Guthrie family, but come on, it's not fair. It's an embarrassment.
You know, I actually have the solution, guys. I know. I actually have the solution. It's a little unorthodox. It's a little outside of the box, but I have the solution. The little girl, Freeman, that he's alluding to there, bless her heart. Hope they find her. Yeah, hopefully she wasn't anywhere near the Epstein-Lutnick buildings, if you know what I mean. But no, I actually have the solution. What needs to happen is they need to run a campaign for the little Freeman girl who's missing, and they need to drum up some old social media content, or they need to drum up some statements that she made that were anti-Semitic. Yeah. They need to find statements that Freeman made that were anti-Semitic and against Israel and against Jews, and then the entire DOJ will find her to bring her in and arrest her. It might be the only hope. It might be the only hope that Freeman has, little young girl that's been missing, and no interest in her story. But if you can find out, if you can find any trace, any evidence that she's guilty of anti-Semitism, if you can find any statements or any evidence, social media, anything, where she said anything anti-Semitic or against Jews or against Israel, the entire DOJ and FBI will crack down and they will bring her in within a week. It's the only hope you get. So come out, admit that the missing girl was an anti-Semite and anti-Israel and made such statements, and the DOJ and the FBI will immediately send out any resource that they can get their hands on, thousands of units, anything they can do, they will bring her in. It might be your only chance at this point. It's probably your only chance. So I'm trying to do my part here. You know, I don't have the evidence in front of me, but I'm trying to do my part here. So to the DOJ and to the FBI and to Pam Bondi and all the similar interests here, the little Freeman girl that's been missing in New York City, she was an avowed anti-Semite, and she said very negative things about Jews and Israel. So you guys need to go find her now. I know that, you know, a missing girl in New York City, you're not really interested in that. I know that doesn't really interest you, and who knows, maybe she's on an island or something, and you guys aren't really interested in any of that either. You know, that's fine with you guys. But if you can find her now that you know she was an anti-Semite, now you guys can actually go find her and bring her in. Now you have to do it, actually. All right? So it's the only shot she has. Now, obviously, I'm being facetious. Bless that little girl's soul. I'm sure she has nothing but love in her heart, and she's never said anything negative about anybody. Obviously, I'm being facetious here. So let's not take things out of control. But yeah, it is amazing, isn't it? It is amazing that there's an element of truth to what I just said.
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
All right, guys, by now you've heard of the official coffee of the Owen Report. Well, hopefully you've heard. If not, now's your chance to take advantage, because we are offering 20% off first-time purchases right now at blackoutcoffee.com/Owen. You heard that right. 20% off your first purchase at blackoutcoffee.com/Owen. All kinds of options for you. Now, you know, I tell you about the instant coffee, the premium instant coffee, because it's the best instant coffee out there. You hear instant coffee, you usually think watered down, no good. I'm not going to mess with that. I enjoy my coffee too much. I'm a coffee snob. Not with Blackout Coffee's premium instant coffee. It's the best instant coffee on the market. In fact, there's really not even a second place. They've separated themselves from the field altogether. But of course, they've got all kinds of options. They've got their bags of coffee. They've got ground or whole bean, light roast, medium roast, dark roast. They even have decaf brews. All kinds of different options for you at blackoutcoffee.com/Owen. And I got to tell you, because a lot of people are into the single-serve pods now, very convenient, a lot of different flavors out there. They've got over 30 flavors. In fact, it looks like they may have just added 2. We were at 34 last I checked. Did we just add some new flavors over here? Do I need to go check? Some of them are sold out right now. These look new. I think they just added these two. We've got strawberry marshmallow and hula watchtower medium roast. All right, so they just added two more. Strawberry marshmallow. I'm just curious about that one. That one kind of strikes my curiosity there. I told you I'm running out of my favorite, the dark chocolate. That's the one I go with, the double dark chocolate. All these 5-star reviews. So I'm going to have to order another flavored single serve pot here. Oh man, I was looking at the midnight cherry truffle, but that one's sold out too. We're going to have to make a decision soon. But you see it, over 30 flavors, single serve pods, bags of ground or whole bean, the best premium instant coffee on the market. And if you haven't tried it yet, now's the time. 20% off your first order with coupon code Owen. That's all you got to do. Blackoutcoffee.com/Owen. Coupon code Owen will get you 20% off your first order. Take advantage of it. If you haven't yet, give them a try. You're going to love it. It'll become your staple coffee. It's the official coffee of the Owen Report. But if you haven't bought it yet, remember that first purchase, you can get 20% off with coupon code Owen.
Navigating between the sane and insane, it's the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
All right, here we are, third and final hour of today's transmission, and we're about to get into some heavy stuff here. We got some raw Epstein files today. Oh man, all right. You know, maybe we start this a little light. I think I think we need to go into this a little slowly because you may or may not be familiar with the name Trevor Moore and all this stuff he did to expose. He was kind of it was kind of a more polished Isaac Cappy, you might say. But Trevor Moore, you know, he kind of got a lot more mainstream recognition and access than Cappy did. But he was exposing a lot of this in kind of more nuanced ways. I wouldn't say subtle because it was very in your face, but he did it through comedy and he did it through music. Now, of course, Trevor Moore was, he fell off a balcony and died in 2021. You know, one of those deals. But here's an example of Trevor Moore, and you go back and you watch his work now, and it's one of those, you know, it's art that hits different today than it did. And so here's an example of some of the music Trevor Moore used to present on Comedy Central. Now, I want to look at this, guys. Pizza Party, Amber Alert. He knew. He knew. So, as I said, not so nuanced or not so subtle. A little nuance there, but not so subtle. And Trevor Moore's got all kinds of stuff like that before he was fell off a balcony. A lot of stuff is way more way more intense than even that, actually. So with that, let's get into the Epstein stuff. Now, perhaps I've got some bookends on this, and the raw Epstein stuff is kind of in the middle. I want to open up with this story because this story is not getting much attention, guys. And this is a monster story. I mean, this thing is monster. And it's fair to say, if the two men that you're about to hear about, because maybe I've covered this on my show a couple of times, but more and more is coming out about their case as it's about to get to court. And more is coming out about this case and some of the details of their activities. If these men were Muslims, you would not hear the end of this story. Same deal with that bio lab where the Israeli was working with the Chinese at a bio lab, and they released him from jail. An Israeli-Chinese bio lab, potential bio warfare here in Nevada, and they released the guy. They released the Israeli from jail. If that was a Muslim working with the Chinese, you'd never hear the end of it. They'd cover it like the Savannah Guthrie story. Same thing with this case. So if you haven't heard about this case, I mean, folks, this is a monster case. Listen to this. This is the local coverage. I believe this is local New York, where the case is about to go down with these three brothers engaged in the most heinous crimes.
Jury selection in the federal sex trafficking trial for the Alexander brothers gets underway in New York City today. Now, two of those brothers, Orrin and Tal, were once top luxury real estate agents before they were arrested with their third brother back in 2024.
Now, according to the indictment, all three of them leveraged their wealth and conspired for more than a decade to drug, sexually assault, and rape dozens of women. They have all pleaded not guilty to the charges. Their trial is expected to last up to 8 weeks. And if they are convicted, the brothers face up to life in prison or a mandatory minimum of 15 years. NBC News legal analyst Misty Maris joins us now. Misty, so what kinds of questions will these potential jurors be asked before they are chosen for this jury?
So there's a lot of focus on whether or not the jurors themselves or family members, friends have been victims of sexual abuse. And we know this because not only are they undergoing voir dire right now, where the judge and the lawyers are asking questions to see who can come in without any bias and base everything on the facts. Remember, there were jury questionnaires, extensive questionnaires that were distributed to try and eliminate some of the jury pool that they don't believe are going to come into that jury room neutral. So this is a really deep dive process. A lot of internet searches on these jurors just to seat a jury who can come in there and really only focus on the evidence and not everything they've heard outside the courtroom.
But my question, Misty, is how realistic is that? Because you're talking about things that could bias the juror based on his or her own life, whether they were victims of sexual abuse. But what about jurors who are just aware of the reputation of these men?
Yeah, so certainly that's another factor. And there's no one that's going to be eliminated because they've simply heard of the case. The question is, can they put aside what they might have heard, what they might have known, and just focus on that evidence and say that they're not going to come in with any biases. They haven't already made a decision on guilt or innocence. So that's really the challenge. And it's the same challenge that we have in all of these high profile cases. That's why you see such a focus on voir dire in trying to weed out those jurors who've already made a decision.
Misty, when you have a case like this, the three brothers are being tried at the same time.
Yes.
Walk us through the challenges for the prosecution and the defense here.
Yeah, this is really, really challenging. And I would say it makes it more challenging for the defense in general, because what the prosecutors are going to lay out is what they say was a conspiracy between the three brothers, that they were acting in concert, that they conspired to engage in these acts of sex trafficking and conspiracy to commit sex trafficking. So for the defense, they're going to have to try and focus on the acts of each individual brother and separate that out so the jury isn't looking at them cumulatively and imposing guilt on all three just by virtue of all three of them sitting at that defense table.
Oof, Misty Maris, a lot to unpack in this case. Stay with us as this case continues. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
How many of you have heard about these brothers and these heinous crimes. And they're going to end up, I'm going to wait and hope it's picked up more, but I'm telling you, they're going to end up being connected to the highest levels. And they're going to say they were, VIP real estate guys. But I mean, the biggest names, the highest connections, and perhaps even to Epstein is going to come out with this, guys. And it's like, honestly, how many of you have even heard about this case? How many of you have even heard about this case? They're burying this. This is bigger than the Guthrie case. They're not covering it. Now, why would Alan Dershowitz say something like this to Piers Morgan?
That's right. He ended up 18 months in prison. He was outraged. He didn't want to spend a minute in prison. I could have gotten him no jail time. If he had told me he worked for the Mossad, for the CIA, he was an intelligence source.
Wait, what? Wait, he's talking about his client, Jeffrey Epstein. What was that you were saying about Jeffrey Epstein?
That's right. He ended up 18 months in prison. He was outraged. He didn't want to spend a minute in prison. I could have gotten him no jail time. If he had told me he worked for the Mossad, for the CIA, he was an intelligence source, it would have been a slam dunk for me to go to whoever I had to go to, even up to the President of the United States, and I would have gotten him a deal with no time at all.
So, I'm sorry. You can get off of a charge if you're a Mossad agent? You can get off of rape, sexual abuse, torture, sex trafficking, pedophilia. You can get off of all of that if you're a Mossad agent, if you're an intelligence agent. Boy, that's an odd thing to say. And, I might even go a step further and say maybe that's why he did get such a sweetheart deal. Now, maybe Dershowitz is unaware of this. Seems to be a bit of an out-of-touch person, quite frankly. They're acting like, oh, he had such a... Folks, Jeffrey Epstein got the biggest sweetheart deal ever that it was actually determined it wasn't even legal. And they actually violated victims' rights in the deal. Boy, that's an odd thing to say, huh? Oh, guys, I don't even know. I don't even know if I could do it. I don't even know if I can do the files today. I got to be honest. Maybe we'll just keep building them up. I will tell you this. They are deleting files right now. They are deleting files off the DOJ website. And they are trying to block access that people got to Epstein's actual accounts, email accounts, mailing accounts, video game accounts, people, because in some of the files, they actually found the password to these accounts, so people got access. So these media groups, including this dissident media here that I have on the screen here, they're all archiving these documents. The DOJ is deleting Epstein files as we speak. They're deleting files as we speak, guys. So they're not giving us more files. They're not giving us more transparency. They're literally deleting it. They're going back and redacting names. And then they're being forced. If it wasn't for Thomas Massey, Les Wexner wouldn't have been questioned today, and Les Wexner's name would have been redacted. And Wexner is claiming he's a victim, just like everyone else. Just like everyone else. Oh, we had no idea. Nobody had any idea, guys. Nobody had a clue. Isn't it amazing? But this is what was going on during Epstein's house arrest, mind you. House arrest. From Jeffrey Epstein to Dan Dubno. You can tell your magician friend if he wants to come by and demonstrate his work. We can have lunch I cannot hire a musician while on house arrest. The press would be unattractive. He's a musician. Epstein was having magicians come over in his house arrest. You know, it's a magic show. It's a magic show. It goes on from Dan Dumbo to Jeffrey Epstein. I think it would be very cool if, knowing your delight in putting video cameras in interesting places, if you consider the possibilities of having Conti do something to your specifications with the art piece he describes below. It is the one I think you saw on the Gadgetoff pics. Also for Simon Winthrop, he says, I'll be in Florida October 27th through 30th with some extra free time. So, he's doing business. He's doing business on house arrest. Just in case you can spare some time to enjoy yourself, I don't get a freaking percentage. Invite me to visit you sometime. From one cheap Coney Island bastard, Dan. So he's in there doing business. He's getting magic shows. They're talking about how he hides cameras all over his place. Oh, total normal stuff. And definitely not a Mossad agent, guys, says Alan Dershowitz. Because if he was, he would get off. I'm not going to go into the rest of these files. I'm going to go into these clips is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go into these clips instead. But, I think that I'm beginning to wonder, guys. I don't want to get too out into outer space. I don't want to go too out into the lost world. I don't want to get too out into outer space. I don't want to go too deep down these rabbit holes and conspiracy theories. But I have to tell you, I've been losing my tether lately. I have to tell you, I've been kind of losing my tether, and I've been going into these worlds myself, looking at some stuff, and I just can't help. I just can't help but wonder what in the hell is really going on with this. Honestly. Because it's like, I can't believe, are we really that corrupt? Are we really that corrupt? Is humanity really that sick and corrupted? Is there really a group of humans that sick and corrupted and willing to do this? And I might believe that's the case. I could believe that, yes, there is an element of humanity that is that dark, twisted, and sinister that might actually be into this stuff. But I don't think that's where this ends. I think it's beyond that. I think it's beyond that. I think that we're talking about, like, yes, demonic activity. But I feel like it's starting to look like Epstein was a middleman, guys. It's starting to look like Epstein was a middleman between something else and humans. And I'm not insinuating, aliens or something like that. You can go on to that. I like I said, I've become untethered these last couple nights looking into these rabbit holes. But it's looking like Epstein was a middleman between this degenerate, disgusting group of humans and something else. There's something else going on. There is a non-human entity involved in this, guys. And I think demons is like it's almost like the lazy excuse. I mean, yeah, it's demonic, but I feel like Epstein was a middleman between these depraved, demonic humans and something else. There's something else going on here, guys. And I think that's like the big haunting reality here. And that's why they can't do full disclosure. I think it's beyond this idea of, oh, it'll collapse the whole government, or it'll collapse the world order, or it'll, it's all your favorite celebrities or athletes or whatever. No. I think Epstein was just a middleman. And he might not be the only one. But I think Epstein was a middleman, and I think he was serving two causes. I think he was serving the interests of whatever it was above him, as far as this power structure, this flow of power is concerned, and then obviously the people below him that are like the human demons, like the vampire class. So it's like you've got humans that are interested in this stuff, and they go to the Epstein temple or do whatever it is that they do with the kids and the blood and the spirit cooking and the torture and the adrenochrome and all of it. But there's something bigger. There's something else happening, and Epstein was just the middleman. Epstein was just like the access point between the two groups. Because the more you look into it, it looks like Epstein was like his own power structure. Like, why is Epstein, who is Epstein to be arranging meetings with diplomats and presidents and prime ministers? Like, who is that? How is Epstein the one managing this stuff? Why is Epstein the one that seems to be the ice cream dealer and the jerky boy? Why does he have the dental chairs? What else? What is going on here? Why is he trying to breed the human race? Why is he into cloning? Why is he into making babies and designer babies and supernatural abilities? No, there's something else going on. And this is the prison they keep us in. This is the prison they keep us in. This is the enslavement they keep us in. It's like if you knew the truth, yeah, the entire world would change. I don't even know what that really means. But it's like a large version of the Truman Show, and we're just on the set. And Epstein is like the middleman who can get access to outside of the set and come back inside of the set. And deliver the goods and services between the two realms. And maybe that's where the secret knowledge comes from. Maybe that's where the occult knowledge comes from. Maybe that's why a lot of these people that got involved in this administration now look like they've seen a ghost and they're just totally different people now. But it does seem there's something else outside of this and on top of all of this. And the more you look into this stuff, the more that's the only thing that makes sense. And there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there about it. I don't care to get into the details at this time. But it's like, it does appear Epstein was just the middleman between something up here and then us down here. And of course, like the more you look into our system as it is, the more you realize the whole thing is fake. Like the entire system is fake. The money is fake. The food is fake. The atmosphere is fake. The politics is fake. All of it. It's all fake. Why is that? Who's running the show? Is it really the people that are into jerky and pizza and grape soda and cream cheese and whatever the hell else is going on down there? Like, do you think they're running the show? They don't even have enough discipline and self-control to not get involved with Jeffrey Epstein. No. Someone else is directing this stuff. And they're going down. It's all getting exposed. I'm telling you, folks, I still believe it's all coming out. I still believe it's all coming out. I don't know the delivery mechanism. I don't know the timing, but it's all going to come out. Because everything is on God's time. And you start to feel like God's God's countdown meter is starting to get close to zero, guys. We're getting way too close to it. We're getting way too close to it. All right. Let me just go to some of these clips. I'm going to hold the files. I can't do the files. It's like I can't do third hour files. It's like if I'm going to do it, I got to do it out of the gates. So let me go to some of these clips. These are the normies waking up, guys. I've been talking about this a lot. We're going to continue to deliver this with evidence. The normies are waking up to this stuff, guys.
I think I know who wrote this email for entertainment purposes only, of course. So this email was written July 10th, but we have to go back to the end of June. So this email is between Epstein and a girl, and he writes to her, Brett Ratner is going to film a big movie, Snow White. I would love to take photos of you in a Snow White costume. You can get it from the costume store. And then there's these photos. So then we have another email between Epstein and this person who says, that was fun. Say hi to Snow White from Staley on July 9th. Notice here, JP Morgan, confidential. What character would you like next? Beauty and the Beast. So meet Staley, who's had to fight off rape allegations before. But there's an interesting detail. Notice it's JP Morgan banker Jess Staley, and he called her Tinkerbell. And lastly, there's this picture which is easily available online of him. And then there's this piece of artwork in the Epstein files. So you tell me, who do you think hurt Snow White?
Yeah, they were dressing up their sex slaves as Disney characters. And there's an email where Epstein talks about special access at Disney, by the way. And I guess the next relevant question would be, are these girls even of age? And I think that's why Epstein was different. I mean, New York City, are you kidding me? You can find a high-end hooker. You can find a high-end escort in New York City. Pfft. Why did they go to Epstein? Because Epstein had the illegal ones. And he had the jerky, he had the grape soda, he had the temple for whatever the hell they do in there. If these guys were just into banging hookers, there's no shortage of hookers, okay? There's no major city where these people are operating that they can't call an escort service and pick a hooker, okay? I mean, let's just call it what it is. And I guess each state has different age laws, but as soon as they cross that barrier, if you want to hire them, you can hire them. I mean, some cases, just go to the club. Stop it. Stop playing games. If these guys were just into banging hookers and escorts, there's no shortage of access. No, they went to Epstein for something else. There was something else going on there. He had the illegal stuff. He had the secret stuff. He had more than just the women. Come on, guys. So again, this is just average normie stuff that are looking into this now and going viral everywhere. The awakening is on, guys. I'm telling you.
In regards to the Epstein files, I've been seeing a lot of people online wondering, who is Cecilia Steen? And don't worry, I figured it out. Let's get into it. Just to give everybody some context, on July 25th, 2019, Cecilia Steen sent Jeffrey Epstein an email regarding his suicide attempt. And a lot of people have been trying to figure out who this is because the email is redacted and all of the emails that Cecilia had sent with Jeffrey Epstein are no longer available on the DOJ website, but you can find them on Gmail. When you scroll through some of the emails that Cecilia has with Jeffrey Epstein on the Gmail website, you can see that they were close friends. Young man, unfortunately, you're too far away for me to pull in the ear, but you went to Israel and didn't come to visit me? My feelings are hurt. This is the same Cecilia Steen that was named on one of the FedEx records with Jeffrey Epstein back in 2004. That is the earliest record that I found of their communication and contact. So 2004 to 2019, that's 15 years at least. Now, who is this woman? She's the one who built herself a $300 million fortune working for JP Morgan Chase. Here's her Gmail account listed.
And you know, here's another aspect of all of this too, guys, that I think we have to kind of start considering, because there's all kinds of, you know, when we talk about people's net worth and, you know, the billionaire class, the centibillionaire class, it kind of numbs you to this stuff. How are these people getting all of this money? How is it that this connection of the Epstein network has access to hundreds of billions of dollars? I mean, the Epstein network basically had what? 50% of the world's wealth? Half of the world's financial wealth was inside of the Epstein network? Like, I mean, come on. How expensive? How come nobody's asking this? How much money did it take to build Epstein's island? One of his islands. How much money? How much money did it take for him to build Zorro Ranch? How much money did it take for him to build Epstein Island? Where did all the money come from? That's what I'm saying. It's all fake. It's all fake. It's all fake money. It's all numbers. And all they do is send it into their networks, and then they build freaking demon temples on an island. And then they bring in sex slaves. And they have jerky parties and pizza parties and grape soda parties.
Alongside her work email. In 2025, she was named as the most powerful woman in finance. Why did the most powerful woman in finance send packages with Jeffrey Epstein? Why was the most powerful woman in finance connected to Jeffrey Epstein up until his final days? After all of the charges and everything that came out, shame on you. Y'all know what to do. Blow this up.
These people are monsters, man. These are monsters. They're monsters, and they've stolen the planet. And it's just like, you know, I don't even know how much civilization would differ as far as personal relationships, lifestyle. Like, I'd like to think that whatever lifestyle you're into, I don't know how much it would change. You mostly do what you want. It's just a matter of how much access you have, how much freedom you have, what access to resources do you have or not. And all of that is being intentionally limited. All of that is being you are intentionally being cut out of the process. You are intentionally being forced to work 50, 60 hours a week just to barely get by with the lifestyle that you want. While these monsters are stealing all of the money and building islands for demonic worship and building God knows what as far as an infrastructure to have a go-between between demons or monsters or reptiles or aliens, whatever the hell it is. It's insane. You can't even, it's like how you can't even put it into words, guys. You can't even put it into words. And they love to do this. They love to do the left-right paradigm and try to split it on political issues so that you can't cut it and understand how you're all being robbed. How much money is this war with Iran going to cost the U.S. taxpayer? How much? How much? Is money even real? Why is it that the majority of the country has to go to work today to barely pay their bills? But hey, the U.S. government, we can spend $1 billion tomorrow to go do some war in Iran for some foreign interest. How is it that the average American who's a good person has to work their ass off to provide for themselves and their family, but Jeffrey Epstein has access to hundreds of billions of dollars to build an island with a Satan temple on it, to deal with ice cream and jerky and pizza and grape soda and everything else? I'm telling you guys, when we get these demons off of our back, it's going to be like somebody that has asthma and can't breathe and then gets the hit from the inhaler and can breathe again. It's going to be like trying to run a race with two 50-pound weights around your ankle, and we're going to cut those weights, and we're actually going to be able to run. That's what this is going to be. When we get these demons off of our back, when we take our planet back from these monsters and these demons, you can't even comprehend what humanity is going to be like. Left, right infighting, nobody cares. Racial infighting, nobody cares. Theological, religious debates, won't matter. The whole thing between the haves and have-nots, everybody will be a have. Once we get these demons, once we get these monsters off our planet and off our back, we will be able to breathe and move freely. And we're going to get it. We're going to get it. It's just a matter of how bad is the struggle going to be? How bad is the process going to be? How much are they going to fight us? What are we going to have to do? It's all happening. And hey, you know what? Everybody wants to look at the lens of Trump. If Trump wants to be a part of freeing humanity, if Trump wants to be a part of this enlightenment and the freeing of humanity from these monsters, then that's great. That's what we wanted from him. That's what we elected him to do as president. If he doesn't, if he wants to join Team Monster and protect them, then fine, he can do that. That's his legacy. And if they think they can cover up some big cataclysm that's coming and watch us all get wiped off as they hide in bunkers or take off to space or all their other hopes and dreams, good luck with that too.
Oh, nothing that serious. I just found some emails in the Epstein files where they talk about studying and experimenting viruses, hijacking our nervous systems in order to make us ill forever and then profit off of us. Cool. The dangerous version is engineering them to create toxins. Where are you? Did you come to Florida? Let's start. I have a ton of ideas. Richard Axel is also coming. So we will be able to attack consciousness from spiritual, mathematical, and biological perspectives. So whatever project they're working on here, someone says notation for biology is an awesome idea. And then they say, I will fund it as a separate project if it has legs. So basically, if it has potential to make the money, they will fund it. Cell membrane, pre-living virus. It needs grammar like a programming language, infection, infected cell, infected host, parasite functions, growth, decay, maybe things to be learned from ecological system math. Okay, so the next few emails I'm going to read, it's between Jeffrey and some person. I don't know who it is, and this person is really curious about wanting to know more about the vagus nerve and obviously to like hijack our nervous systems. Like if they're studying viruses and our nervous system, and when we have a virus and that virus is feeding on foods in our bodies and it's eliminating waste, it's called a neurotoxin. It releases, and when those neurotoxins are hitting our nerves, it causes all different symptoms. It's even more toxic than the virus itself. So I think that's why this person is like wanting to research the vagus nerve. But they say, yup, it is just the beginning. The vagus is the interface for the nervous-immune system, but so much more, lots to do. Just checking to say hi, help me think about how to test idea of vagus as storage area and passageway for pathogens. I just realized an even more compelling connection for Parkinson's too. Found some really amazing people. They all think about the role of bacteria invading. Vagus will end up being key since it's the only link between enteric and central nervous systems. No one is looking at viral stuff in Vegas, which is where I think the big news will be. And right in plain fucking sight, man. They're talking about these fucking illnesses and
By the way, that's where they just found that Chinese-Israeli biolab.
talking about what's actually causing them. Viruses, bacteria. They say ALS, it's like a bug entering through the enterics and goes to spine rather than the brain. You look up ALS on Google, I have my computer right here. Cause is not known. Environmental, genetic, and medical medium has been saying this forever. And then they go off and propose their ideas, right? Paul Greengard thinks my ideas about the Vegas are pretty cool. And he says that I should come to NYC and work in his lab, and he will help me figure it out, or at least get started. He says he wants in early on so that he can win his second Nobel. If I can figure out the finances, etc., I will see about starting a part-time posting at Rockefeller. Oh, there you go, baby. XOXO, peace and love.
Yeah. You ever done the deep dive on the Rockefeller? Plastics, petroleum. Guys, This is why you got to take care of yourself. This is why Maha is so important. This is why I always promote good health. Mental health too, but physical health, you got to. These monsters, these demons are trying to kill you. Do you understand? They're trying to kill you. It's like if somebody comes at you with a knife to try to kill you, you go into fight or flight. Your survival instincts kick in. But these people do it in secret. They do it in secret. They do it subtly. They do it in all these different hidden ways to kill you. These monsters are trying to kill you. And they dumb you down with. It's time to start acting like somebody's coming at you with a knife to kill you, because that's who these monsters are. They poison the air. They poison the water. They poison the soil. They poison the sky. They poison you. And they sit around scheming about how they can kill you. Start acting accordingly. That's why I don't want to hear about your fucking midterms. So I don't want to hear about your fucking Democrats and Republicans. We got them. This is it. This is our moment. This is Team Humanity. We got the suckers. We got the monsters. Bring them in. Take them down. Free the world. Join Team Human. Join Team Angel. Join Team Jesus. Join Team Humanity, freeing the world of these monsters. You know it's real. You can feel it in your soul. You can feel it in your spirit. Unleash it. Don't be cucked by these demons. Don't be cucked by these liars. Stop it. Oh, Trump this. Oh, midterms that. We have the demons by the balls right now. We got them. The Epstein files are just our hands grabbing them by the balls, getting ready to rip them out. Do you want to do it or not? Do you want to see what it's like to be free or not? You want to take your planet back or not? Do you want to take your future back or not? Do you have your human instincts left? Do you have a survival instinct left? What do you have left in your soul? Let's see it. What do you got for a spine? Let's see it. Stop. I don't want to hear, oh, Trump, oh, midterms. You're missing the picture. You're missing everything. You're accepting your slavery. I won't allow it. All right. Let's do this. We're going to go into bonus time here. Let's do one last thing before we go into bonus time. Trump on Howard Lutnick yesterday at the White House. This is not looking good. I don't know how Trump can say this about Lutnick and not raise suspicions. This is like the most suspicious thing you could ever say. And he says it right there to the press with Lutnick.
I mean, he literally watched the plane go into the building, go into the World Trade Center. Amazing story. That alone is an amazing story. He was delayed because his wife insisted that he finally, after years, take his child to school. So he took his child to school that one day, because normally he would have been in the building at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's that business, right? So you owe your wife a lot and your child a lot, right? But his wife insisted that he take his child to school. For 5 years, he didn't do it. He was horrible. What kind of a father was he? Okay, I'll do it. And he was therefore driving down at 8:43, whatever the time was, down the West Side Highway, and he saw the plane go into the side of the building. He said, wow. And he occupied the top 3 floors of the World Trade Center, of the one building of the World Trade Center. And, I mean, he literally watched.
Yeah, Lutnick, who was always the first of the office, and I believe his brother as well, they were always there every single day. And the one day they weren't there was 9/11, as well as a couple hundred other special people that got the notice not to go into work that day at the towers. Tell me, why haven't they been brought in for questioning? Boy, that's awfully suspicious, Howard. How come the one day you didn't show up to work on time is the one day a plane flew into the building and it collapsed? No, I don't think that's a heartwarming story. Sorry, not buying it. To me, that's a evidence of potential guilt and knowledge of a terrorist attack happening. Actually, Howie not looking so good these days. Again, it's like I look at Trump and I'm like, okay, is Trump intentionally surrounding himself with these people so we can know their names and know who they are and know their backgrounds before they get exposed? Or is Trump on their team now and he's being told to surround himself with these people? I mean, it's outrageous. To put it into perspective here, and I got to say, J.P. Sears he is really becoming one of the best when it comes to sarcastic news coverage. If you're not following J.P. Sears, this guy is really emerging as like number one in the satire news category. Just incredible stuff. Here's his take on Howard Lutnick.
Let's check in and see how Pam Bonnie's career is going. We're all proud of you, Pam. Good evening and welcome to Wheel IT News. Tonight we'll be doing a special report on Epstein Files star Howard Lutnick. He's facing mounting calls to resign for some reason. He's the current U.S. Secretary of Commerce and a billionaire whose religion just happens to be Jewish. You want me to hide that? That'd be anti-Semitic, wouldn't it? Think about that. So yeah, this crusade against Howard, it's just really based on a lot of baseless facts about his appearances in the Epstein files and his appearances on Epstein Island, him lying about it all, him taking money from 9/11 victims, and him allegedly knowing 9/11 was going to happen before it did. We'll tell you about it. I'll tell you this, there is nothing fake about Howard Lutnick. Case in point, here's Howard laughing anytime Trump mentions Epstein.
To talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation.
I don't know. I could ask you that question.
Is there anything funnier than Epstein and what he did? It gets me every time. Back to Howard. And here's more fake laughing from Howard when Epstein's mentioned.
Pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like.
And here's Howard fake crying this time about 700 employees of his dying on 9/11 in the Twin Towers.
Take care of my 700 families. 700 families.
And here's more heartfelt fake crying because the families of the deceased weren't getting enough money.
$35 million sounds like so much money. But if you divide it by 700 people, it's only $50,000.
But it's got a happy ending because luckily after American Airlines gave them a $135 million settlement, Howard stopped crying because he took most of that money for himself and his firm's partners. That way the families of the victims didn't have to be bothered by it. It's also worth noting that Howard Lutnick was at his office in the Twin Towers every morning. But luckily for him, not the morning of 9/11. Why not? Golly, what happened that day? Well, that's the only day he decided to take his son to his first day of kindergarten. Now, some people say that's a fake story. I say those are fake people. People are just bitter about him massively profiting off a tragedy that he defied the odds in escaping himself. But what's irrefutable is that he is in fact a good, dedicated father. And that's why he took his son to kindergarten that day. Okay. He also took his son to Epstein Island. More on that in a minute, which is just something else that good fathers do. Hey, I've never taken my boys to Epstein Island. You make a reservation? I'm just trying to be a good dad. What about his relationship with Epstein? Well, Howard only met him once, and he was grossed out by Epstein. Here he is telling some fake truth about that.
I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or for even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
And then, gosh darn it, the Epstein files came out, and it's revealed that Howard accidentally didn't tell the truth about his frequency of Epstein get-togethers. Emails, which who would have thought those would be a paper trail, revealed he was on Epstein Island as well. Here he is telling a new truth about that in front of Congress.
When you visited the private island, did you see anything inappropriate during that visit?
The only thing I saw with my wife and my children and the other couple and their children was staff who worked for Mr. Epstein on that island.
Nice. Howard, Why did you go to Epstein Island?
I don't recall why we did it.
Personally, when I go places, like, I don't know why I went. And Lutnick was also in business with Epstein and next door neighbors to him in New York. And now he can only seem to recall visits with Epstein that the files prove he had. Howard, did you have any other visits with Epstein? Did the emails say I had any additional visits? No? Then that's all the visits, all right? And that's how that works. I like it when the guy talks. He's just crushing any skepticism about him with his expert truth-telling, if you ask me. In other news, who could believe this? The market value of fake meat is on the decline. If you invested $10,000 in Beyond Meat in 2021, today you'd have $41. And also, the Epstein files suggest that satanic pedo elites were eating kids. If we put those two together, Beyond Meat, Beyond Baby, I think we'd have something. I mean, we've talked about this before.
All right, guys. JP Sears, Awaken with JP. Give him a follow. He's doing incredible stuff right now with his satire coverage. About as good as it gets, if not the best, I would say, right now. All right, taking our final break. Going into bonus time.
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
Okay, here we are in the bonus. Going into overtime on a Wednesday. Getting lively. What kind of savagery do we have in the super chats today, I wonder? Well, I don't have to wonder much longer because we're going in. All right, let's do this. Leroy Jenkins style. Does Vault leading us off? Hopefully Tucker didn't take a tour of the shooting range. I mean, aid centers. It's crazy. They just said, yeah, let's just detain him anyway. That'll be good press. Net new. Thank you. Owen Schroyer's wifey. Lena's new music video dropped. You know, I saw that in the media. Bayou Witch anthem for Mardi Gras. What is up with that? Maybe I'll check that out. Captain Art, no, this is why Left First Right is a psyop. They all have the same donors. They take turns playing good cop, bad cop. The war will be terrible for USA. Obviously, while I'm on the air, I can't really I'm getting, I get blown up most of the time while I'm on the air. But apparently, one of these veteran groups, I can look at this now. Apparently, one of the biggest veteran groups that endorsed Trump has just taken it back. So I don't know. I'll have to look into that. That was sent to me in the break. They're not going to lie. I tell this war with Iran stuff. Even if it's just such a loser, man. It's just the whole thing is such a loser. Welcome to Electric Boogaloo. We need a SIMP Act, special interest money in politics. Get Massey on it. Yeah, I mean, really, that's what we need to do. We need to get all money out of politics. And see, here's the dangerous game that we play with that. But it's like, I think you have to do it. You have to get money out of politics. I don't know what the best solution is if you just make it illegal to take any money, because it's like, how do you even work around that? Or maybe you need to bring in different campaign finance laws, and it's like the max donation numbers need to go down or something. But it's like, that's the big deal. That's the big deal. These super PACs, they got to go. PAC money, billionaire class money, it all has to go. And you almost want to make it a situation where you can't take any money at all. And if you're going to run for office, you have to either do it on your own dime or basically, do it for free, volunteer to do it. And I know that's also a dangerous game, because then you kind of, you open the door up where now only rich people can run for office. So it's kind of like, well, how do you deal with that? But obviously, all the money in politics is not working. That's obviously not working. The donor class, special interest class, the super PAC class, that has destroyed our country. That has corrupted our politics. So that has to end. I don't know. We can debate about the solution on the best way to get money out of politics, but it has to end. It's out of control. It's destroyed our country, folks. It's literally allowed foreign interests and special interests to buy our government and corrupt it against us. Jennifer K., the sad thing is that if Charlie were still here, he would know exactly how to win the midterms. Trump has become the Epstein administration. That's what they're calling it now. I know Huffines is sus because the MAGA bots are reposting his BS. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I voted Huffines when he ran for governor, and he ran a good campaign, and I liked his message. I know a lot of the people that worked on his campaign, and they're friends of mine, and I trust them. And it's like, I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater and lose a good candidate here, which he could be. But it's just like, as soon as it's like, okay, 1 strike, 2 strike, like 3 strikes, you're out, man. And now Con Inc. is promoting him, and now the MAGA bots are promoting him. And it's just like, I can't now. I can't. If it was just maybe 2 of them, the Epstein situation and the MAGA bots, or the MAGA bots and Conservative Inc., or the Epstein situation and Conservative Inc., it's like, okay, that's 2 strikes. Maybe now it's 3 strikes. I can't do it now, guys. I don't think I can do it now. It's too much. I can't do it. When the Dems win the next presidency, this Trump administration is going to jail. Trump has protection via SCOTUS, but Pam Bondi doesn't. Well, that's a whole nother mess. And I think we might get a taste of that after the midterms. So that's a whole nother deal. If we see Bill and Hillary in orange jumpsuits and matching silver bracelets, Republicans will win every seat. Hey, look at that. That's $5 political advice from Dust Vault, better than anything Susie Wiles could ever come up with right there. Tax cuts on tips, overtime, and SS end December 28th. And none of that is even true. Again, Social Security is the tax money that they already took from you. And tax on overtimes and tips, it has a limit. Folks, it's honestly a big lie. It's honestly a big lie. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but basically there's already these different tax brackets. And it's like, it might depend on the state, but it's like somewhere between $25,000 and $30,000. And basically you're not paying any taxes. And if you make $25,000 and you pay taxes and you send in your W-2 or whatever it is, you're going to get the money back. You're going to get a rebate. The whole no tax on tips is capped at the exact same number, or like $5,000 more. It's just another lie. No tax on tips is a lie. It has the same cap as the lowest tax bracket. It's literally the exact same crap. It's just a complete lie. Cut the taxes. Cut them. Cornelius Westernmost, truly don't get folks harping on the Drudge Report. It's just a part of the 8-lane superhighway you've described. Isn't it recognizing the propaganda of the opposition? Lesson 101 in rules of engagement. Yeah, I explained the whole Drudge Report thing on the side screen. I think you pretty much nailed it. You obviously get it. You've heard the descriptions. But I will say, like I said, what I want to do, guys, we're in month number 5 of the show. And so I would like to, at some point, if the show expands and starts bringing in a bunch of money, I would like to have an Owen Report website, and I can just have the Owen Report here. But you realize there's a lot of work that goes into this, and I would basically have to have a full-time employee to put 100 headlines, 100 custom headlines on a web page every single day for the show. That's a full-time job. So if we get to that point and I can hire somebody to do that, I will. But right now, the Drudge Report still does it. I'm not promoting it. I don't sit here and tell you it's the utmost truth. It's still the best news aggregation site out there. So tell me a better news aggregation site. Hopefully it's the Owen Report someday. Pittsburgh bad. Trump dynasty is like the Pittsburgh Pirates. You know what it actually is? I was thinking this the other day. Maybe I'll post this on X. You know what the Trump administration is? It's the Atlanta Falcons up 28-3 in the Super Bowl. That's the Trump administration. Bucks because they had a team and sold out. Will you stream the State of the Union? We want your reactions. Yeah, I probably will. I would say that's probably a high likelihood. Although I have to tell you, I'm already so cringed out by it because I already know how much it's going to suck that I almost don't even want to do the torture. I feel like that would be torturing myself. So I don't know. We may have to consider. I don't know if I want to torture myself or my audience with the certain cringe fest that's going to be. Player Hater 1. Ironic that Marian Adelson owns the Dallas Mavs and Trump. Both got destroyed in 1 year. Their job is to arrest criminals. That shouldn't be a hard decision to make unless they have orders of who they can and cannot arrest. Two-tier system. Yeah, you're talking about Bongino and Patel talking about how they can't do stuff, even though they're supposed to be the head of the department. Yeah. Expose 305. Jesus, our Lord, tells us that J life starts in the heart, in the spirit, Owen, not in the flesh, in the DNA. Roman 2:28-29. Remember Trump dancing and cutting cake with the sword? It was a different time, wasn't it? It was a different time. My kingdom is not of this world. John 18:36. Those that call themselves Jews don't even believe in Jesus, Owen. Getting theological here on a Wednesday. Brainwashing is an MFer. The case for America. That's the Mark Levin case for America. No such thing as Judeo-Christians. By the way, they're mocking that in the Epstein emails. I've got it in my list. We'll get to it tomorrow. Co-create with me. Please consider your State of the Union with us live play-by-play. I think we just addressed that. I think that's what you're saying. I kind of do the State of the Union here in a way every day, but I guess I could do like a dedicated one. Well, there's a lot of it. We'll see. I just know it's going to be miserable. I can't. It's just going to be miserable. I know it. Alex got mittens. Tucker's producer got grilled. I would not step in Israel. Tucker is going to have a great show. F. Mike Shabbat Huckabee. Proud to have my passport not stamped with the 6-pointed star. Parasites. Robert 292. They do nothing organic, all artificial. Lutnick looking real bad right now, I gotta say. Prague Snob. Look into Mark Crispin Miller's research and support his upcoming movie. Every U.S. election has been decided by the CIA since JFK assassination. Oh, but they're teasing us, guys. They're gonna release how it was stolen. It's coming up. Just wait. You wait. You wait, panicins. Owen Schroyer's boyfriend. Thoughts on Nick saying age of consent should be 14? I've never heard that. But I would obviously disagree. Adam, U.S. going to Iran is Iraq part 2. We both know how we got fooled into going to Iraq by the actual culprits of 9/11. Well, the only difference is Iran is not Iraq. And I don't know if we can pull that job in Iran and it goes so easily, for lack of a better word. So, and it already looks like China and Russia are at least posturing themselves to get involved. But I do wonder if we don't get another 9/11 style deal to bring us into it. Lydia's Pulse. Thank you. Again, I didn't see that from Nick, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. And I know people try to gaslight me in the chat. But if he did say that, I just disagree. I totally disagree. The age of consent, I think 18 is fair. I think 18 is fair. Hey, Owen, why are you ducking Adam Green? He tried to get a hold of you, and you didn't reply. He said you don't want the smoke. You know, here's what I'll say. And I said this the last time Adam was brought up, that I'd be willing to talk to him. But, you know, here's what happened with Adam Green. And this has been the consistent problem with Adam. Adam actually had a relevancy arc. Adam had a trajectory of relevancy and a relevancy arc that he was on. And now he's decided to go Epstein file cover up, Epstein file denial. And so I'm not engaging in that. Now, look, there's no debate. It's like if there was a debate, there could be a debate. There's no debate. Adam thinks that Jeffrey Epstein, a serial sex trafficker and pedophile, is into wholesome family fun like pizza parties and grape soda and a beef jerky connoisseur. That's what Adam believes. So he's welcome to believe that. He's welcome to call me crazy. He's welcome to, and then that's what he does. And then he does this ankle biting routine, and he tries to yip at everybody's ankles instead of just getting his own relevancy. He's always done this. It's like a jealous ex-girlfriend type of thing. So Adam was on a trajectory of relevancy. Adam had a relevancy arc. This was his time. It's like this was the time for Adam to step in and do what he's done. And instead he goes with, oh, Epstein just is a beef jerky connoisseur. Oh, there's nothing to see in the Epstein files. And now he's just yipping at everybody's ankles that's covering this stuff, begging for attention and access and relevancy. And it's like, dude, that's not how you do it. Like, you had it. You had your own relevancy arc. You had your own audience, your own relevancy arc. You were coming of age, and you've just cliffed now. There might be a redemption arc, but there's no debate. If Adam believes that Jeffrey Epstein is just into good old wholesome family fun, pizza parties and grape soda drinking, and Jeffrey Epstein is just a beef jerky connoisseur, then that's fine. Adam can believe that. There's no debate. I'm not going to convince him. He's not going to convince me. That's the side of this story he's decided to land on. So fine, live in the replies. Relevancy arc done. I'm not going to be a part of that. This is always the case with Adam. And he's a nice guy and he's a good guy. And he's worked really hard to build his platform, but I'm not doing it. Owen, you're either with Trump or the Democrats. Well, yeah, it's like that's where we're at now. My jaw was on the floor with the Trevor Moore song. I'm telling you, I could do a whole Trevor Moore show. I mean, he literally had his own show. Have you seen the time for the guillotines routine? MAGA cult says video of Trump supporting Clinton is AI. Ha! That was like an ABC News exclusive or something. What? Fire Owen's bodyguard. What a joke. Jordan Walker, Israel doing everything to bring the Antichrist. Yeah, well, it seems like that might be what it is. They're trying to bring the Antichrist in. They're trying to bring in all this hatred, self-fulfilling prophecy, claim the whole world is against them, and then maybe do some AI Antichrist, some hologram Antichrist, some Project Bluebeam. They're going to do something. Yeah, something big is coming, and no one's going to believe it. If they do some Project Bluebeam, or they do some like AI Christ, Antichrist reveal or something, nobody's going to believe it. No, everybody thinks everything's fake now. Adam, look up Joe Rogan, Trevor Moore interview. Joe jokingly predicts how Trevor died as if a joke to his face, ladder death. I didn't know he was on that. I'll check that out. Has anyone seen Barron Trump lately? No, he's, I think, enjoying his time at New York University. Scotty Gesso, amen. Call out to the super chats when they come in. Makes so much more sense. Plus, sometimes I'm not here at the end. Think about it. All right, Scotty. Employee Strong for Life. Wishing everyone a blessed Ash Wednesday. Thank you. What are you giving up for Lent? Jeffrey Epstein was a kind mark of the beast. In order to get that levels of power, he was the satanic door to get in. You needed his mark to pass through. Well, that's one way to put what I was trying to describe earlier. Jose Navarro, what does the cross-wielding rosary on full display at TPUSA Jack Posobiec have to say about his boss banning fluff pieces for Epstein? It's all fake. Yeah, that's an interesting one. That's an interesting one that, yeah, I'll tell you, I'm just avoiding it. I'm just avoiding it. And it's like, look, that's why I always say it's like, there's a lot of dust. There's a lot of muddy water. I'm kind of waiting for some of it to settle. A lot of it doesn't look good. So it's like same thing with this Huffine stuff. But that's why it's just like, I'm independent, man. I'm independent. I don't want that baggage here. It's like, this is why it's like, I try to stay as independent as possible, because as soon as you do one thing with one person or whatever, now it's like, now you got all their baggage. That's why I just do my own show. I rarely ever have guests. I don't want the baggage that comes along with it. Every once in a while we'll have fun. Every once in a while we'll have a guest, but it's just like, I can't It's like as soon as you bring someone on or endorse someone, or it's like this guest or this special project or this, it's like, I don't want the baggage, man. So that's why I just stay as independent as possible. Shiloh's Retreat. I am also with you, Owen. Truth on Ash Wednesday. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. Our comments happen when you trigger them. You lose the moment over the super chat till the end. Or if you're talking about the show format, this is the best format to have. If I let the super chat disrupt the flow of the show, then it's not good. Dano Thamano, tell me about Israel and the mafia, Owen. Well, you know, it's funny that they get to demonize Italians as the big bad mafia people with every movie and pop culture, but, you know, nobody else is allowed to do that. Mary McLeaven, President Putin has stated we are fighting a spiritual battle with demons. Then Russia shuts down certain electronic services. He knows and is protecting Russia from the evil we are fighting. Thoughts? Well, I know he said that in multiple interviews. I'm not sure about the electronic services exactly. But Trump addresses it, Putin addresses it more than Trump, at least nowadays. Captain Crunch, thank you. PFF, into the volcano. That's one way to deal with pedophiles and make sure they don't come back. Dat Bongino's bodyguards are ugly. Dan Block Gino, Dan Bot Gino. And mine are obviously the best looking. Gigi Gazzioni. Any chance you can do a 4-hour show, mi amor? Seems like we're getting closer to 4 hours every day. We seem to be going into overtime, bonus time almost every day now. So you're bleeding me dry. I'm leaving it all out on the field, guys. No one does a 4-hour show. And who else does 3-hour shows? Even 3-hour shows are rare. And I don't even take breaks. Stitch EP, what's it like being such a Chad? Well, you know, it's got its benefits. It's got its pitfalls. I live the simplest life, guys. I don't even take advantage of my Chad status. I live my life. I love my life. I love my friends. I've got my discipline routine down. I try to make the most of myself and give you the best show. That's all I care about. And everything is just a blessing from God. Junior Williams, what will GOP run on in 28 after betraying MAGA plan? Good question. What are they going to run on in the midterms? They don't even know. Oh, we're running on taxes. Oh, we're running on the economy. Oh, we're running. You have nothing to run on. You can run on a secure border. That's it. That's the expectation. That's the bottom line. 13 Anjo Wizard. Adam Green is just desperate to be relevant. I'm rooting for Adam. In fact, I think I'm doing him a favor by doing this. He's so much better than this. So that's why I just don't get it, and I'm not going to be a part of it. Some shekels for your bonus time, Patsy Boy Cattle. An insult here. It's not exactly an insult. A little what should we call it? A little side spear here. A little shiv into the side of Schroyer. I kind of like it, actually. I wish the chat would get a little more insulting to me. It's kind of funny. A little more deprivating. Boiling Point Live. Boiling Point Live. My relevance is that the Bongino stooges are stalking me in my personal life and trying to discredit me and my tiny podcast. How crazy is that? Who's Boiling Point Live? I recognize that. The Bongino stooges are stalking you. It's that bad over there now? Yikes. God, MAGA is just so pathetic now. It's so cringy. I'm sorry. I know, though, bro. I know. And who was it? Somebody sent me this the other day. I shared it. MAGA is now what the left wing was. They're the most radical, hateful cult. And it's like, if you don't support Trump 24/7 and think everything he does is good, they come at you with hate and disgust, and they want to ruin you. And these people are gross. They're going to cost the Republicans everything, and then they're going to thrash and lash out and blame everybody but themselves. They're awful people, unfortunately. I hope they find help, and I hope they salvage this before the midterms, but it's not looking like it. They're too blind, they're too stubborn, too arrogant, too retarded, and too brainwashed, actually, unfortunately. Employee strong for life. In prep, going to not have any cheat meals or days at all, trying to understand where I need to be in all this mess, where I can serve my purpose the best, listen and hear God. So that's that's what you're giving up for Lent. No cheat meals, no cheat days. I haven't really thought about it. I probably should. I used to do, I did Lent growing up. I was in a Catholic school, Catholic household. I haven't thought about it. Honestly, this is going to sound so conceited. I just don't have really any bad habits. So I don't know. It's like if I had a bad habit, I'd say, okay, give it up. I mean, I don't eat bad stuff. I eat healthy. I don't know. I'll have to find something. Ironing, bed, making, maxing. What? I don't know. Employee struggle for life. This is all a lot on my soul. I just want to fight. This all feels like noise and distraction from the inevitable. Well, maybe an element of truth to that. One thing is always inevitable. You know what that is. But we won't be morbid. I'll tell you what. One thing is always inevitable. Eventually the show comes to an end. Eventually the show ends. And that time is now. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats. Please remember to support our sponsors. They make the show possible. We will take a 20-and-a-half-hour break. We will be doing bonus time tomorrow, but it's going to be on a different show. I'm going to go on with Carolyn Borisenko tomorrow, who's been doing some good shows lately, giving us a shout-out. So we're going to go on her show tomorrow after this show. Have a great night, guys. Go Team USA. You know it.